Came on without ears. Good morning, Envy. How are you guys? Good morning, Todd. Let me send out my little brat signal here. How is everybody doing? Hello, Lehman. Good to see you. So we're doing a shipping show, but specifically shipping resin pieces. So how do you wrap them and how do you make sure that they are safe? And then we have a shipping guru who's been on the app for about 3 years and shipping resin items who is going to give us some tips also. So get pen and paper for that part of the show for sure. And I'm doing okay. I'm not awake. I'm not a morning person. For all of you who know me, those of you who don't, you should know I'm not a morning person. But Fridays is my busy day to do things in the world outside of whatnot. So I'm going to do that. Happens every time. Happens every time. Okay, sending out the brat signal. The brat signal is out. I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Friday and that you are ready to start the day and end this week in a great way. I am excited. It's Friday. Of course, I like all the days of the week. I don't have a particular one that, gosh, I know I was looking for it. I'm literally at this moment as we speak over here looking for it and I cannot find it. No idea where it went, but I am already suffering. I'm suffering the consequences of not finding it before I started the show. I guess we'll put this one on. I don't like this one. I don't like this one as much. Okay, guys, so let's get started. I was trying to clear off spaces over here as well. So I probably packed it in a box. No, I didn't pack anything last night. I walked away without packing anything so that I could pack today. So that was the plan. That was the plan, man. So I am just cleaning off a space over here so I can use the camera every now and then as well. And we're going to see if we can prevent having to use the soap today. The vintage bar of soap. Okay, I should have done this. Guys, I could not get up. I was up until about 5 o'clock this morning, just unable to sleep. So now I am definitely tired and feeling the effects of that. And I'm just going to clear off some space here. Just clearing up some space because I don't usually ship on the table. I ship off of the floor, so I don't want to do that this morning. I want to ship off the table. How's everybody doing? What's your plans for today? Hey, Robin, welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you are having a blessed day as well. We're almost done clearing off this little space here. I'm tired too. That's what I was just saying. I definitely overdid yesterday and underdid the amount of sleep that I needed. Okay, we're good. We are good, guys. We're getting there. We're getting there. I know this is one thing I have to ship. Okay. All right, let's start off with any questions that you have right off the bat on packing. What is your biggest challenges? What's your biggest challenge in packing things? And let's move it this way. Packing things and what are your concerns? Glass, yes. So good morning and ow. So glass, we treat everything that we do here in the resin community like glass, because even though it is more durable than glass in the long run, in the short run of things, the way that packages are handled by some associates, I'm not going to say everybody, but by some associates from the United States Post Office, can be a little on the aggressive side. We'll just leave it at that. And so we treat everything like it's glass. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is wrapping those items and showing how we do that. I'm trying to clear off the space. Man, it is, did not realize it was this abundant with stuff. Which it's going to be in my line of sight, guys. It's going to be in your line of sight. I'm just stacking it over to the side. That's what we do around here. We just move stuff around. We don't ever put it away. So shipping glass. Anything else? Any other questions this morning to start out with that I can be concerned with while we're in the discussions? While we're in the discussion zones. Okay, we got us a clear space. Ew. Brian's side of the desk is dirty. It's dirty and sticky. That may be me. I think I spilled a Coke over there a while back, right? I spilled a Dr. Pepper. Shipping resin crate. Yeah, that's the big one. So we actually do have a baddie. Well, it's a Bratz Beauty to ship today. And I may be cutting some styrofoam depending on how much time we have. But that is the trick. The trick is to get styrofoam or enough packing materials in those to make a difference. Sometimes your packages look absolutely crazy. Let me grab a wipey to wipe this table off, and then we are good to go. And we don't have a wipey in here. Yeah, we do. I also haven't had a Dr. Pepper yet today because I forgot to put them in the refrigerator last night, and I don't drink them hot very often. I may have to, but okay, we actually have a clean-ish table to work off of. Guys, I just could not sleep last night. I just could not sleep. I'm here. I just found UV resin on the floor. So let me clean that up real quick. Why? Okay. My UV resin is actually leaking onto the floor, so that's disgusting. All right, guys, here we go. So what we have to ship today is what we sold in the last couple of days. So we have some delicate little items. We have some envelopes. We have 2 pieces of resin-crete, so we can start with those because we're going to treat them like glass, right? And then we might pretend wrap something else. Sound good to you guys? Okay, this is what we have currently to ship. These are our orders. So I found these little baskets at my resale show place that I like to buy things, and they've been kind of a godsend for us. So I hand things over to Brian. He makes the little basket with the names on it, and then we ship them out from there. And I love them because they actually do stack. And we're going to work with this little baby first. Ooh, actually, let's work with this little baby first because we need to work on that one before we send it out. So one thing that I do that slows up my shipping that I don't necessarily suggest that you guys do is I finish all my pieces before I mail them out. Like I look them over, I perfect them, do all the things that I can do to make it the best product I can make it. Good morning, Lions and Stars, and welcome in and ow! So that slows me down a lot in shipping. The other thing is I'm usually at the last minute doing my wolves, so this one does not have the label on it yet, so I can't ship this little baby until we actually have it labeled out. So that slows me down a lot. Plus, this one also has to have the statement that the little adoption sheet, which also takes a few minutes to do. But we're gonna do the shipping. We're gonna do the little label real quick, and then we'll do the packing, and then I'll add the other stuff in later. Okay? So let me get the little label going. Lions and stars, how are you doing today? You're a beautiful packer. I love everything that I get from you is always beautifully packed. So I appreciate that. All right. I need a second labeler is what I need to make life simpler. It's on my list of things that I want, not necessarily need, but do want, because I do have two different labels that I use, the little labels for the wolves and the shipping labels. So if I had a label for the wolves, I would not have to change it out every time I go to use it. Oh, you know what? Give me just a second. No, I don't know what the number is yet. I gotta figure out the number that Zia is. Zia is, oh my goodness, number 240. Guys. 240 and 241 are our wolfies. Let me do that label really quickly. That is on my phone. I got it. So we just print out our little labels for our wolfies. I think one of the most important things is that, like, when somebody buys something from you, like, it's a promise, right? It's a promise that you have created a piece, explained what it is online, and that you follow through, and that it's a true representation of what you told them it would be. So I tell them that they're going to be labeled. Every now and then I'll miss one, and then I try my best to make it up to them by sending it in the next package or going ahead and putting it out in the mail to them later on. So I think I've done pretty good about catching most of them for labeling, because I value that part of the process as well. So now we have both Rainbow and Zia numbered and labeled. So they're on to the next step of the process. So this is Resincrete, and Resincrete definitely it is very breakable. If I were to drop him on the table right now, the possibility of breaking off ears and feet are highly possible because they're thinner. This part here is probably not going to have a problem at all, but ears, nose, toes, they would definitely break if we were to drop them. So if we're thinking about them in the sense of shipping, then we know that they're probably going to have an issue if they're dropped and tossed around in the box. So one of the things that I always say to myself is if it shakes, it breaks. So we're going to put this in a box tight enough, wrap it well enough, pat it well enough that if you shake the box, nothing's going to break. So let's see if I can do this. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I can see. Of course, why I can't see my camera this morning. The one time you need your camera to show, right? Well, not the one time. I always need it to show. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Tackle Box was like almost a 2-hour shipping. Excuse this mess. Pretend it doesn't exist. That was like, seriously took me so long. So then I take the box that I had and I put it back over to be used again. But I do keep this little slip until I ship because then I know who it went to. So Tackle Box was yeah, sometimes I think about things after I make them and I'm like, oh gosh, how am I going to ship this? But that's neither here nor there. Just know that should probably be part of your planning process. It's not a part of my planning process, and that always makes things a little hard. So I've already chosen a box for Tackle Box. I've already chosen a box for Zia. My biggest challenge is finding boxes that fit my pieces because I don't purchase them. I get them from a reseller and I make them to fit my products versus buying the boxes to fit my products. Because honestly, I don't know what size boxes to buy that would be standard that fit all of my pieces because I'm all over the place in creation, right? I just have so many different sizes of boxes and things that if I were to buy them in advance, I wouldn't have half of my stuff that would fit. So I don't buy them in advance. All right. So one thing to know about anything that is painted or anything that's resin, in doing my research, I have learned that you should not put bubble wrap directly on anything that hasn't been cured for like at least 3 or 4 months. So I just make it a practice. It doesn't matter when it was done to not, yeah, we do use a lot of boxes that we get from other people for sure. So anytime a box comes in and I'm like, ooh, sometimes I'm just as excited about the box as I am for the item that I bought. Is that crazy or what? But, so yeah, so don't, I guess the practice is don't actually put bubble wrap directly on your piece because it can actually cause little divots in your resin and the plastic can actually transfer onto your item. So what I use simple tissue paper or different variations of papers that can go near the Wolfie. I'm just going to pull a few of these out and I just made a mess in doing so. This stuff is great. You can put this next to your resin. This is just a solid version of this one. I actually do prefer this one for resin over this one because there are little, I guess there's texture to this one. This is actually my favorite thing to put next to my items. And these are literally $1. Yeah, little dimples. These are literally $1 for a giant pack of these at the dollar store. So I do use these very, very often. All right, so we just cut that down to size. You don't have to wrap you don't have to use this piece to wrap like excessively because you're going to use the bubble wrap to pat it. This is merely to protect your smaller item. There's also this stuff, guys. Don't actually like this to put next to resin either. So we've got our little tissue piece. And I don't know how you guys do this, but I throw everything on the floor behind me. Then I have a mess while trying to clean everything up. Sorry, what are you sorry for? What did I say? So I just wrap him like this. Oh, you know what I did not do? I didn't get a marketing picture of him real quick. I try and keep pictures of all of my wolfies because I'm going to start a website someday. Yeah, throw it on the floor, clean it up later. Sometimes I clean them up, sometimes I don't. That's the bad thing. I was scrambling this morning cleaning my floor off so that you all did not see how bad it was for the last couple of weeks since I've cleaned. Let me grab a picture of him really quickly. Sorry about one design, the web paper. Oh no, I love it for other things, and I actually will use it to pad like an item that I'm worried about. I actually do love that stuff. So yeah, don't be sorry for that for sure. Okay, let me turn this back how we had it. And of course, now we can't see the screen, so I can see if you guys can see. Anybody else have this kind of luck with technology? Anybody else have this crappy issue with technology where you have nothing working when you need it to? I do have another phone company. Yeah, you're really good at not having issues. So this is just to protect the paint. This is to protect the piece. And then we take, the next step is the bubble wrap. Next we put the bubble wrap on the baby. Oh, I kill myself sometimes. Okay. Because this is resin-crete, I'm going to use a little bit more. Although this piece is a lot more sturdy than some of my other pieces, but I'm going to use a little bit more bubble wrap on this guy so that he's pretty well protected. But I am also not super excessive with this because we're going to actually secure it in a couple of other ways as well. Anything you can do to save materials, guys, you should really try and do, because that really helps your cost of things in the long run for not only you, but for your customers. And I'm hoping that you guys are actually adding in the cost of shipping supplies to your pieces if you need to. My shipping supplies cost is relatively low. I have this paint, the tissue paper, and this stuff, which I absolutely love. And that is pretty inexpensive. It's about $30 for 6 rolls of this. And I do get the Dollar General tape, which is like, I think 3 or 4 pack for not super expensive either. So once we have it wrapped, I like to have these little cushions on the end, like a little bit of extra on the top and the bottom, because that's going to add another layer of protection for this little wolfie when you wrap it. So then I just take this. I try not to ever put tape on my packing supplies so that you guys can reuse them too. So I just take my piece and I actually roll it over those 2 ends first to keep them in. And I do go around it a couple of times and then split in the middle and roll across the other side. And then I just tear that off. And now I can actually not really feel the wolf, like any part of the wolf, maybe right here just a little bit, which I think is a toe. So wish I would have got his toe a little bit better in here, but yes, care and bubble wrap. Hey Joker, welcome in and ow! So then just to kind of secure things again, so I know that I want to protect that little piece just a slight bit better. So there we go. So I'm going to actually put the sticker over it also to protect that piece just a little bit more. So then we have the box to be concerned about. If you reuse your boxes, make sure that they are secured before you start putting stuff in them. So this one has a tear on the edge. It was opened aggressively, I guess. So I'm just going to secure the box. It's got a couple of spots on the box that need it. Guys, I just taped a hair into that piece of tape. My hair is even pulled up today and it is still everywhere. All right, we're gonna have to put a sticker over it because it's sealed in there pretty good. Okay, obviously this is a huge box for this little baby. I'm not a Weasley and his muscles. I'm not really a huge fan of cutting up boxes and making them smaller in order to make your pieces fit in them, because I think it messes with the integrity of the box where it's not as strong, and you want your boxes to be strong enough to withstand shipping, right? To make it through the UPS. I always say UPS, the United States Post Office's aggressive handling. I always like to think of it as this is going to be handled by the most aggressive of their associates who is mailing, and would I be certain that this box is going to make it through that process? So I like to make sure that I use good enough, sturdy enough boxes to make sure that it would get through that process. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pad the heck out of this box. So that's also going to protect your piece in there. Does this cost you a little in extra packing supplies? Yes, it does. But I also use and reuse the stuff that you all send me to make that happen safely. And I do love this paper. Sorry, I got an alarm there. I do use this paper a lot. I do like it a lot. I know there's a lot of people who really hate newspaper. I'm not a huge fan of it either. But sometimes if it's not going to touch the actual piece, I don't really mind that much. So like this one's a box that I want to like really pad that bottom really good. So I'm going to use that on the bottom. And then plus you get the news from my area, right? Is that a thing? Who knows? Who knows if that's a thing? You can read up on what's going on in the greater Knoxville area. So that's a little bit of a pad there. Now we're going to actually take this padding and I'm going to put the Wolfie in the middle there. And then I'm going to pad it additionally so that it's padded both above and below the piece. Okay. I'm going to do the shake test. So I'm going to close this up. And I'm going to shake it. I hear a tiny little bit. I don't know if you guys can hear that tiny little bit of movement. So I'm going to figure out where that movement is, and I'm actually going to, I'm going to pad that little area. This is where that webbed paper comes in, because we're going to use it. We're going to use it right here in these corners. Save you the funny papers, headed your way. I remember fighting with those with my brother. We used to fight over those every single morning that they came in the news on Sunday. The Sunday paper, right? The Sunday funnies. Nothing. Nothing at all. You can't hear anything now. So this is a well-padded, well-to-do box. All right. There we go. We got one down, right? So what we do next is we go into our show, right? And we're going to go into our shipping. Let's see. How do I want to do this? We go into shipments. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let me get you a little bit closer. We go into shipments over here on the side, and it brings up all of your shipments. So we're actually working in last night's show, so we're going to actually find this order. And what I usually do, honestly, is I usually work from the bottom to the top. So I still have shows that need to be shipped from the 20th. And those are different size items. They're not necessarily resin items. So I wanted to skip ahead and do actually what we were working with. So we have our armadillo gal. If you click this expand button, it's going to tell you a little bit more about your item. If you actually did a quality listing, this would save you a lot of time in shipping, because you would know exactly how much this box weighs, and you know exactly what the product is. If you do a generic, like say Lions and Stars is doing a show with molds, and she has small mold number 1 or small mold number 2. And for some reason, maybe you didn't get something put in the box, you didn't get something labeled. I always go back in and I check my video receipt just to make sure that I got the right wolf going to the right person. And bam. That one? Oh, wait. There it is. So we do know that we have wrapped the Zia and that we have the right item. Now we need to make sure that it fits all of the other properties here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this back up, and we're going to go across here to the little pencil, which will bring up this additional window that asks you to edit the shipment. And if you are not editing your shipment, okay, awesome. I'm excited. Guys, stick around for Art with Heart. Hello, DNA. Nice to see you this morning. If you're not editing your shipment and you're not doing the actual weights and dimension of your boxes, right now there is going to be a little bit of leniency, but you're looking at in the future of having to pay those additional charges that they have been doing for us for a while now, those adjustments. So I do and always have gone in and adjust my box sizes. I think you got to be careful with people who will tell you not to edit, not to do any of that, because those are the people who will ship you something and then you have to pay their shipping when it comes your way because they haven't done the appropriate pre-work on their shipping. So this should just be part of the routine to double check your boxes. If you have a standard box size and you have a standard item, you could go in and create a special shipping. The reason I don't do this with my wolves is because they're always different, right? They're always different. Let's see if I can move this, if that comes in more clear. Yeah. So I can't really do that. You're inside all the boxes, Envy? Okay. I will handle it with care then. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. So let's edit this box. So what we're going to do now is we're going to measure our box, and it's by length of box. This one's 9 inches. So we just go in there and change that to 9. Hit the tab button. The width is 6.5. I don't think it's really specific on having to do the half, but I mean, you've already done it. You might as well do it, right? And then it's 2 inches in the height. And then you tab and it'll take you to whatever country you're in. Since we do have international people, I am going to talk about that. Whatever your metric measurement is, you're going to choose that. Okay. And then next you're going to go to the weight. I do have my little scale here that I use. So you turn it on, wait for it to actually go to the tare stage, and then weigh your box. Wow, did we guess pretty close on that one? So it's 7.3. And I actually do go up. I round up. Save those changes. I never round down, guys. I never say it's 7 ounces. Even though it's 3 is closer to 7, right? Oh, sorry. Don't look at the let me get that really quickly off the screen. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have shown the address. So we're going to generate that label. We're going to print that label. Close that out so you guys can't see the address really quickly here, even though I accidentally already did that. And there we have, oh, I forgot to change my labels. This is why I need another. Forgot to change my labels, guys. This is not going to work for shipping. Plus, I've now wasted these 4 in the middle also. Ugh. Ugh. That makes me sick when I do that, because everything you save now in using other packing supplies, I've just wasted on labels. One day I'll get a second one. I'm watching for them to go on sale. I actually did get one. It was $20 on the move. Since I knew it wasn't going to be my primary, not my primary piece and my primary use one, but then they, oh, I'm sorry, we're out of that item, and they refunded me. So I didn't get it. Okay, now whether you put the slip in here or not is up to you. There's a lot of philosophies on that, and I mean, we can discuss that really quickly. Like, how do you guys feel about the labels? Is it an additional cost? You're talking about pennies on the dollar to put the label in. And I guess the way to think of it is they do have access to that information in the app. They can go back in and they can find whatever it is that you got from them. But for first time people, I always write a thank you. If something was a meaningful buy for me, I try and write them a little note. I'm looking for a pen here. Or if I just want to say hi or thank you for the purchase, then I will write a little note. Stick it inside your box. This is why I round up, because you never know, like last minute things. So this one actually is still going to get a wolf fur trinket, the paperwork, and I believe this is her third. Oh, thank you so much. That would be awesome. So this one is still going to get some things in it. I think this is the third purchase, so they will actually also get the the pamphlets. So there's going to be an additional small amount of weight that's added. So that's one of the reasons why I round up. So I can't actually tape this box off, but you will just adhere your label. And if you have a small box that you may need to bend, just make sure that this one stays straight. This is also contains all of the same information that's in this. So there are 3 of these on your shipping label. There's one next to the address. Just make sure that at least one of these is not on a bend so that it can be scanned appropriately. This one luckily fits the face of this box perfectly, and we're going to go with that. Yes, I do have those. And I stick them in occasionally, but I found that I really like to send them personalized notes. I don't do it for every order, but I try and do it as often as I can, because especially on a first time buy, because then you're being more personal with it. All of our Wolf Pack gets an additional sticker that says "Ow, Paul Clayton Wolf Pack, Wolf on board." So just one of those little cute things that maybe will get somebody excited to say, "Oh my gosh, my wolf is here," right? Yeah, my wolfie is here. And I do, like I said, I do have those business cards. I have them right here, actually. And if I know that there's somebody who's not, Brian. So we got this one here. Your purchase made my day. You could also write your message on the back of this. But if they're running a business for resale, it's nice to have that receipt, because then they know exactly what they bought and what the cost was and all of that stuff. So that definitely helps a lot to send that. All right, guys. So we went start to finish. These are relatively new. I did these probably about 4 or 5 months ago. And I love them. I love these little, for the baddies, we have Attention Mortal. Brat's baddie on board. Attention Mere Mortal. Which, we're just being funny there. Because, they're supposed to be like the big bad thing, right? So that is a box start to finish. Other than, of course, I need to add stuff to this one, so I can't do that. Now, the next thing that you'll do is, before you take this to the post office, you're going to scan it in the app. Okay? I can't show you that because it's on my phone. But you will go to your seller hub, click on the right-hand side, there's the orders tab. And when you do the orders, you'll have needs label and ready to ship. So you'll click into the ready to ship, and all of your shipments will be there, and you literally can scan back to back to back. You don't have to go back in to any other screen. You can scan all, if you have 20 packages, you can scan all 20 of them at once. It sorts it for you and tells you that that's been scanned. So I was at 99.1%. And yesterday, or day before yesterday, I missed a package. I missed one scan. Don't know how I missed it, because my screen went blank. I mean, it went that they had all been done, but one of them didn't get scanned, and I'm now at 98.1. That algorithm that they have now on the shipping is, if you scanned them in on time, and then within a reasonable amount of hours, if it made it to the post office for the second scan. So I do scan all of mine as soon as I'm done shipping. Once I have all my shipping done, I scan everything. even if I'm not going to make it to the post office till the following morning, I still go ahead and scan them because that's the one that actually causes that first tag on your algorithm for your shipping. And then when you get to the post office, that creates the second part. So make sure that there's not a big amount of time between the first scan and the second scan, because that will really hurt your algorithm from what I understand. So any questions on shipping Resincrete? And like I said, just make sure, do the shake test on every single one that you do, and you should be okay. All right, I also keep a bag close by, and I put all of my shipments that are going out in that one bag. All right, so let's ship something different. Let's ship something paper. Shake it like a salt shaker. Exactly. What we're going to do is we're going to actually ship this order out. We've got the little Wolfie card. Oh, Simplify, we're going to be packing your order. We've got the little Wolfie earrings, which these are clay, so we want to make sure that we protect these really well. And then we have Lobo the wolf. So this is going to be another wolf pack box. And so we want to protect all of this, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap our Wolfie. Let me put this back on the show. I wish I knew how to keep this from hitting that reverb every time, but I don't. Oh, we're not on the flip screen. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. So going to keep Simplify's name out so we know that this is his package. And we want to double check to make sure that his package is actually what it was. So we go into our shipping. And we click on his order. I don't know if you guys can see this. And then just view the video receipt quickly to make sure that that's what they are. Well, maybe. Did you hear the crack in his voice?
Sometimes when I drop it like hot, I don't get up with the glitter. I jump right back up. It's magic.
Is that what it is? Oh, okay, Brian Weasley. This is the only one that I have that's the white wolf. Oh no, that's actually the timber wolf. I do put them in the playback speed fast if it's not right on there.
This is Lobo.
Okay, we do know that those are the three. Yes, I do actually watch them in the faster speed. Okay, perfect. Because it's funny. I make myself laugh every time I watch it in the faster speed. So we're going to quickly do this so that we can go over to Dina at Art with Heart. She is ready. But I do want to show how I ship cards and flat pieces because, like I said, I don't sell the same thing over and over again. Everything is different dimensions, different shapes. We check to make sure that it's labeled. It is. Wrap it for protection from the bubble wrap. Which, by the way, I have received twice. I have received resin pieces that have actually been affected by the bubble wrap. This happens more in the heat than it does in the cooler months. So just keep that in mind. We are coming into the hot season. Resin can get flexible in heat. So make sure that, again, you're padding your packages really well. So look, this is not a breakable piece of resin. You're going to have to work really, really hard to break this one. So we don't have to do 400,000 pounds of bubble wrap and wrap on this one because it's a sturdy piece, right? It's a sturdy piece. We're going to pop our thank you on there. But do be cautious of the, I guess, the idea that the heat season's coming up. I have a million of these folders. Yeah, I can co-host. So I do have a million of these. They're great for protecting these kinds of pieces. I'm actually going to go ahead and wrap these too, though, because they're clay and they're breakable. They're clay and they are breakable. So let's protect them. And plus, pretty presentation, right? Sorry, trying to get on screen here. We're going to pop on our thank you. And then this further protects the piece. We do a little thank you on there, and then I go around with a piece of colored tape. I bought a pack of these colored tapes that are in a roll. So like I've got 4 colors, I think. Not super particular about the color. But that protects your piece and actually keeps it in there protected. So we would do the same with this. Pop them in a box and print out your labels and do all the things that we did with all of the other boxes. And then voila, you have this box ready to go. But don't just pop, if you're going to put this as a PWE, what are the chances that this is going to get bent or wrinkled or crinkled? Your chances are pretty good with the fact that it has to go through machinery. So do go ahead and protect if you're sending cards, so that the value in whatever it is that you sent to them is actually still going to be intact by the time they get it. So just one of those things to think about. How would you want to receive your package? Would you want it to be in the best possible condition so that it can be used for its intended use? There you go. You have a protected. Now it's not as flexy as it was. And with the 2 of these together, these are not going PWE, by the way, but I'm just saying I do actually do this for all our PWE. All right, now this package is ready to go. And we are going to go over, is there any other questions that I can answer for you all before we switch over to actually the shipping side, like the actual components of shipping that art with heart knows better than I do? Any other questions about packaging? PWE is plain white envelope. So anything that's going to go in a plain white envelope. So for these little styrofoam pieces are what was last night's gift. Look how flexible these are. They're actually stickers as well. I will actually still protect these. I will put them in an actual padding like this and send them also. I do the same for cards. So, any other questions? All right, guys, let's go over, and I'm going to co-host you in. I'm so excited. I have to see if I've got pen and paper close by, because I always have questions on shipping.
Hello.
Hello.
There is an echo. One sec.
It's mine.
No, it's usually whoever you talk.
Okay, I have it off on my end. Oh, yeah, it's echoing on yours too.
Yeah.
Gonna go grab a Dr. Pepper. I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, let's try it now.
Hold on. Does everybody hear me? Good morning. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure we got ready for the echo. Good morning, everybody. We are going to go over like actual shipping, how to order the supplies. Ro just went over with you guys how she does her actual packing of her items, and that was while I was asleep. Not gonna lie, she asked me to do it super early. Hey, Joseph. Hey, Joe. And I was like, I can't go that early. I'm a West Coast girl. Um, I'm like, how about I start at 8?
Yes,
So,
I so appreciate you coming in so early. I really do.
um, yeah,
I have
yeah,
a
okay.
marshmallow and Dr. Pepper. My day is set.
You're better than I am. I do want to show one thing to help avoid. One of the things Rose showed was how she reviews all the video receipts, right? Ideally, you're going to move up in sales to the point where you're not going to have time to watch video receipts, right?
Yes. Yes.
Maybe you're selling other items that you're not handmade, so whatever. So you want to pay attention to that as well. So I do want to show something that I learned from another seller who sells crystals, and um, Avery makes phenomenal removable labels, and these are what I use. So I have all my categories. I have like extra small, small, whatever. And my item description is literally like 0 to 1 ounce items shown on screen, for 1 to 3 ounce items shown on screen. And then I literally just label everything. So you can see like here I have these are numbers. This is for when I do like a sticker show so that I don't need to have anything else. But I would write like extra small and just put the number. And for me, that helps because then when the item is sold, I slap that sticker on. It is very easily removable. And I won't have to go back and watch the receipt. So I hope that's okay that I'm showing that.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're wanting to do today is like I told everybody, I'm not like the expert on this stuff. I've only been doing this a year. This is just what I do, but the good thing about this is opening the door for discussions on how people do things easier and and what part of each process that each person does that you want to take for yourself. Because really you have to do at the end of the day what works best for you, right? Um, I'm just paranoid that I'm going to ship the wrong thing.
That's fair. Well,
So
then you can
I'm a
listen, do it
checker.
anyway, whatever works for
Yeah.
you. It's
I,
just for me, um, it's something that works.
yeah,
Okay.
and I do resell, and when I do resell, I actually do use tags. I
See,
do.
there you go.
Because for my art stuff, 90% of my stuff fits in these boxes.
Mm,
So we put a name on it and then we just fill their boxes up and so I know it's genuinely going to be correct, but I still check.
that's fair.
Paranoia.
You know what? Paranoia is real. I get it. 100%. I used to work for a premier seller who works in jewelry. I worked for her since before she started on Whatnot, actually. So I've been on Whatnot in some capacity for years, and I've only branched out on my own less than a year ago, actually. But I've been on Whatnot, and I've been doing sales on Whatnot for over a year. So um, that's kind of my background there with how I have that knowledge. The nice thing is we were shipping about 1,000 items a day. So that's where I have that base knowledge for shipping itself and shipping procedures. So I pulled up, I wanted to start with just literally ordering your shipping supplies. USPS. So as you guys know, we work with USPS, right? And there's the ground shipping, there's first class mail, and of course there's priority, including flat rate. And I want to go over the differences between those. I don't know what I missed, Ro. I'm sorry if I missed
I
those
didn't
parts
do
while you were
anything other than packing boxes because I didn't
okay.
want
I wasn't
to,
sure.
yeah, not the expert on any of that stuff. So I wanted to leave all of that to not me.
Well, because when I popped
I'm
in,
still making mistakes.
you were showing the measurements, so I was like, should I show this, should I not? Yeah. Okay, so I did pull up, hold on, it moved now that we co-hosted, so give me one sec. I have my computer behind my phone. Of course it moved now that I'm switched to selling. Oh, because it put me into buying mode. That makes sense. I hate when it does this to me. Okay, in the meantime, though, I'm going to flip the camera and I pulled up the USPS website. So, yeah, a lot of us don't know that we can order our shipping supplies, our priority shipping supplies for free. It comes from the post office. So instead of having to go to the post office, which a lot of us do, especially as small sellers, we're like, oh man, I have to go to the post office. They don't have that size box. Oh, I didn't know that size box or even exists when something arrives, right? How do I get that box? We can literally order all of that here on the USPS website. So if you just USPS.com, we're going to go to quick tools. Okay.
And
And
you
nope.
have to have a you have to have an account, right?
Yes, it's totally free. It's a personal account, does not have to be a business. It's just a login. Quite frankly, they have something called informed delivery, which will USPS, as you know, scans every item, right? And this is like for your home mail. I get an email every single day telling me what mail is coming in the mail today, and it has images of everything. This is not a business account for me. I'm not signed in. It'll have me sign in when I'm ready to check out. But it's literally just life for me personally. So we went to Quick Tools, or we can go to shop. Okay. And we're going to go to shipping supplies. Okay. Now we're going to filter here by category. There is something called pay ahead. Never do that because on Whatnot, they take care of our shipping for us in terms of that, meaning that whether the buyer pays it or we, the seller, pay it, regardless, we don't have to worry about that. Okay. We're going to go here to free. We're going to filter on the left side with product type. We're going to filter to free shipping supplies, which if you see is 47 items in addition to priority mail, which is also 47 items because that is what's free. So we're going to we'll do both. Okay. And it shows 18 per page, sorts by relevance, fine, whatever, any of that. If you want, you don't even need the free. You can just leave it at priority. The reason I like free, I'll show you the difference actually. So we'll do this. Now I brought home, I kept most of the ones that I use. I have a sample of. I'm going to flip the camera again. I just want to show them to you so that you can see what they are. Okay. So we have the poly mailer, the poly envelope, and it's track and insured, and it's exactly like your standard plastic poly mailer. This is wonderful. It's called the shipping envelope priority mail. Just so you know, every priority shipping material will always have dimensions on it somewhere listed. Okay. So this one is here. It tells you it's 15 by 11.6. So there's no guessing involved when it's a priority package. Okay. Now what I love about the priority mail, but the poly mailer, is sometimes I have something that's not going to fit into one of my priority boxes, but it's a small enough box. I can slip that box in here and now the post office knows, oh, that's priority. Does that make sense? And
Yeah,
this is
because
strong
you want the
enough.
benefits of that priority mailing. If you're going to
Exactly.
if the customer is going to pay for a priority mail box, they genuinely have paid a little bit more than your standard box. So you want to make sure that it gets the extra insurance and that they handle it with that priority versus the ground shipping, right?
And that it
That's
will,
the
right,
idea.
it'll move faster. Now, something that I learned during COVID, actually, nothing to do with working here, but it's something really important to know because buyers can get finicky. Oh, my package is still not here and it's been 3 days. Um, the post office only guarantees Priority Express, the timing on it. They do not guarantee standard priority mail. Okay. Priority Express, which is overnight and it's within 36 hours, essentially, depending what time you drop it off, is the only shipping that the post office guarantees a time for. So when someone reaches out to you and says, well, it got lost and it's delayed and you owe me, no, first of all, in general, you don't. Once you hand something over to the post office, it is now property of the US Postal Service until it is delivered. Until it is scanned as delivered, you have no control, you have no access,
Right.
you don't own that item. You literally do not own that item, and that's why they insure it, because they're owning it, right? So there's nothing you can do. There's truly nothing. When somebody is missing something, what I say, what I've reached out and said is, please keep me posted. I will check the tracking for them once. So I'll check the tracking, I'll take a screenshot and send them that tracking and say, like, this is where it's at. Look, it looks like it's delayed, right? Just ease their mind that you're involved and you care, right? And then also just tell them, please keep me updated. Let me know when it arrives. People love that, right? It's such a simple thing, but we really have no control. It hit the post office. There's nothing we can do. We scan it. That's the other reason. Well, I'll get to it. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I scan at the post office as well. Okay. That's one. Two, flat rate envelope, which I will explain what the difference is between flat rate and standard priority. This is going to be your standard, just hard paper envelope. Okay, this is great. Maybe you are making resin bookmarks, something else that you sell, something flat, but that still requires some extra protection, right? And it has some weight. It's got some metal in it. It's got whatever. It's got some weight. Okay. 3 for envelopes is going to be for me the padded flat rate envelope. Okay, it's a bubble poly, has no give, right? The size is the size. It is what it is. It's tracked and insured. It's 9.5 by 12.5. Okay, and that's going to be for envelopes. These are the ones I always have these in stock in my garage, which is my shipping depot. um, so that's going to be those. Then we have boxes. So boxes are, let's go into flat rate versus priority. Okay. Boxes are confusing, especially when you get into flat
Yes.
rate versus priority. Welcome in. Yes.
Hello, Bent.
Um, Flat rate means that you have up to 74 pounds, no matter, as long as it fits into the flat rate box that you chose. Now that box has to be labeled as a flat rate box. Okay. If you put it into a flat rate box, you have up to 74 pounds in here before they will charge you.
And
Okay.
that's
Any
the
additional shipping.
if it fits, it ships box,
If it
right?
fits, it ships box.
Yeah.
Correct. Does not matter how much it weighs. Okay. That's really important. Now, here's the thing. Of course, they make most boxes priority. Your weight matters. Now, if you look, these boxes look almost identical. Now, incidentally, if you look, it's really frustrating because for the different sizes, this is not consistent. But when it comes to the small flat rate, you must pay attention to the size listed on the box. Okay. So this is the small flat rate, right? Again, it says flat rate, so we know. And if you remember, I told you the dimensions will always be on the box, right? They're here in this one on this side, and they're 5.3 by 8.6 by 1.6. Okay. Um, this is the small flat rate. Now, if you look at the small priority it says priority mail, right? But the name of the box is actually just shipping box. Okay. It is not called a flat rate and it's not called a priority. It's not called a small priority. It's actually just called a shipping box. These are important because when we order our materials, we need to know what we're ordering and we need to pay attention to those things. Okay. And now this one, the size on this one is actually significantly larger. That one was 8.6 by 5.4 by 1.7. This is 9.4 by 6.4 by 2.1. And now this one actually gives you two different measurements. The measurement I just read is the outer dimensions. Okay. And that's the OD. And then you have the ID, which is going to be the inner dimensions. The inner dimensions are actually only going to be 9.25 by 6.25 by 2. Okay. So this one is significantly larger in this situation, right, than your small flat rate. That being said, your small flat rate, I can put way more weight in, but I cannot, and this is the other really important part, alter the shape of the box or the size. Okay. If this box, if it doesn't close like this beautifully and properly, you will get it back because you'll be charged. Okay. It must close. Flat rate is like literally, it is that strict. It must close properly. There is a reason that they're allowing you to pay a flat rate, specific amount of money in order to allow this to happen. Okay. Priority mail, I'm not going to lie. You can absolutely stuff it a little bit more and do, you know, one of these deals, right? Because they're paying per
I
weight.
I have ordered from big shows that have literally taken two of those and taped them together.
Hmm.
Of
Yeah,
course,
because you're paying for the priority
nothing was
shipping.
padded inside at all, so it was a horrible plan. But yeah, they and I got it. I didn't have any problems receiving that box the way it was.
Because it's regular priority shipping. So it doesn't matter. They're paying for the weight, you're paying for the speed and the weight, and that's all you're paying for. So they don't care. That's why it's so, so important to pay attention to that difference. That's one of the reasons. Okay. So that's the smalls. Now, there are some amazing, we'll continue in flat rate and then I'm going to come back to the others. When you get to mediums, okay, mediums are weird. So, medium, we have the medium mailbox, medium mailing box. Okay. And this one, the inner dimensions are 11.5 by 2.3 by 13.125. This is what's called a side loading box. Okay. And that's because it's that long way, right? This is great for your trays, all kinds of random things. But then you get the medium flat rate. Now, this is where, oh yeah, I do have it. Okay, good. This is the medium flat rate side loading. Okay. So again, you've got the side loading. Medium flat rate has side loading. It also has top loading. This is top loading. Top loading looks very different. Dimensions are different, right? The area is approximately the same, the available space, but the shape is very different. This one, you've got the 11.8, so this is much larger. Whereas the small flat rate was smaller, the medium flat rate is larger than the medium side loading box. Okay. It's 11.8 by 3.3 by 13.6. Okay. And that's my inner dimensions. That's how much space I have inside for my medium flat rate. Okay. My medium flat rate says it. One rate. Yep. See that? One rate, any weight, medium flat rate. This one is the one that is called your side loading box in shipping. And I will show you because I have the box that I have is one that was shipped to me. So I'll be able to show it to you on the label so you know. Okay. But this one is called the medium. This is the side loading box. There's also in flat rate for medium. And I thought I had larges, but I'm out. The top loader. Okay. Because I so rarely use them. The top loader is going to be 11, the inner dimensions again, 11 by 8.5 by 5.5. Okay. And it's called same thing. It's still called a medium flat rate box, one rate, any weight. So how do I know the difference? Well, when you generate your labels and you choose that flat rate box, it'll show you you'll choose side or top loading. Pay attention to that. There is no difference in cost, but later this year when Whatnot starts charging us for dimensions, we don't want to be screwed up because we chose the wrong one. Okay? Now, that is not going to tell it to us on our shipping label. What it will say though is what size. Joe, you better start selling. He's a phenomenal artist and refuses to sell. Okay. He makes jewelry and he's awesome. What will show is, if you see here, okay, with my postage, it says medium flat rate box. So when my label prints, I know what I chose. So there's no guessing once I created that. Once I generated that label, now I do have to pay attention. Did I do a top? Did I do a side, right? That I can go back into my selling my seller hub and I can check that. But I don't have to go, did I choose a small, medium, or large, right? Because it's right there for me. It's that information is here. Now, if I chose a flat rate, I must make sure that I am shipping in a flat rate, right?
Not a priority, which looks
Not a
very
priority.
similar.
And that's why I'm literally emphasizing, and I probably sound like I'm talking to preschoolers, and I apologize. I did teach preschool for 10 years, but that's not the goal. The goal is literally pay attention a billion times to the name of the box. If it is called flat rate, it is flat rate shipping. If it is not called flat rate, it is not flat rate shipping, and you must match them up. You must save yourself a lot of heartache.
I
Just,
learned this the hard way.
I'm so sorry, my love.
That's okay. I should have met you a few months back.
There is large, okay, there are large flat rates. I thought I had one and I don't. And
I
then there's
have one if
large
you need me to show it.
okay, if you could just go over the dimensions of it, please, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because I thought I'd made sure I had one of each, and I didn't realize that was out. It's the one that I don't have. I was frustrated with myself because, like, I had it all prepped and everything, but I so rarely use them that I'm Dina, guys. If you have any questions, um, I'm gonna plug Row for a second and also share for you guys, for those who don't know. If you're missing information, you come in the middle of a show and you're like, hey, I want to be able to rewind and see all that information that I missed. If you make a purchase, I'm sure she has something that's really inexpensive. If you don't have a high budget, if you make a purchase, you'll be able to review the video receipt for 60 days and you can go back to the beginning of the show and take all those notes that you missed. So that's just something that is an option. So head into her shop if you want to make a purchase and be able to review everything.
Also, this is going to be on YouTube. So it will be on my YouTube. I'm going to actually pin the sticker one that you can get a receipt of the show, but it will be on the Basement Brats Art website.
Okay. Thank you.
For free. For
Nice.
free.
Awesome. Even better. Okay, so I have the large shipping box. That's the name, right? Really complicated. And then Row has the large flat rate. So again, mine is called large shipping, hers is called large flat rate. That's the difference, right? Which means what? That means hers can be up to 74 pounds. Mine matters. My weight matters. So your dimensions are what? It's
Being
next to
looked for. There it
the
is.
barcode. 12 by
Is that it?
11.7
Okay.
by 5.5 for your inner dimension. So that one's smaller. Mine is 12 by 11.7 by 8.5 for my inner dimensions. Okay. So in this case, I can't see. There we go. So the large shipping box is going to be larger than the large flat rate box. Okay. I almost never use these, which is why I was like, I still have these from, like, I don't know, Christmas. I think I have like 4 left. Because I just never ship something this big that's gonna, and weight wise, it ends up costing so much money that I usually just go with the ground shipping for that. So that's gonna be, there's only that one shape. So medium is the only one that has 2 options for flat rate. Then there are additional sizes for priority that are, again, and I'm gonna go over ordering them. Okay. This one is my personal favorite. It's just called a shipping box, but It's 7 by 7 by 6, the
I
inner
was going to ask
dimensions.
you, how can I use this box?
Oh,
Because
I'm gonna come. Wait, is that this? Oh my God, it's literally my favorite box. It fits almost
I have
everything.
these, but I don't know how to choose them correctly to make sure that I can ship it in this box. So I have not
Oh,
been
okay.
using them.
Okay, I was like, hold on. Because it's such a good box size, especially in resin. Almost everything resin fits in of like crafts. I love it. It's like, yeah, my go-to. And then you have the shoebox. The shoebox I want to show you again, just called mailing box. It's 7 by 1/4 by 5 1/4 by 14.3. Is really great because it fits like most trays, most resin trays. I'm kind of focusing on resin, I know, but I mean it'll fit everything. But most of the large resin trays can fit in here. Which is really nice because and it's got some good space for shipping for padding. You know what I mean? And because of that, I also adore the shoe boxes. And it's not something that we think of as an option, as a like, why would I use a shoebox? Well, we do, but not that we would order it. Yes, you can. And I'm going to go over that, Sister Pete. Exactly that. Yes, you can. You can use your own brown boxes with pleasure. One of the things that I showed at the beginning is that you can, if it fits into the priority poly mailer, you can do that just so that they know that it's priority. And the other thing is it still hasn't arrived. There's been a delay. And I'm going to show it to you right now. I'm going to flip the camera. We're going to go back to USPS website, and I'm going to show you what you can order for that exact thing. So here we go. So we've got the poly envelope, which is what I just showed, right? Then we have the flat rate padded envelope, which I showed as well, the bubble. I don't use those. The priority mail flat rate small envelope is going to be this one, smaller. I don't know. I've never used it.
I can't think of anything I would use that for either.
Literally, I'm like, I don't know. I don't have anything for it. These are just the envelopes. Okay. There's a legal envelope, but these are good to know that they exist, you know? And if you see, it all has dimensions for me. Okay. It also tells me how many I can order, how they come. Do they come, look, single or pack of 10? Priority mail, flat rate, legal envelope, pack of 10. Now, here's where we get to the fun stuff is the boxes. Okay. Priority mail, flat rate, small box. Pay attention to that when you're ordering those, okay? Chances are extremely high you will almost never use a small flat rate box. I'm just going to say it. Almost never. However, it's the one that shows up first. Really? Mine usually come within a week. I've never had an issue like that. That's crazy.
It's a conspiracy bent.
Literally. I'm like, damn, okay. Um, like, I'm like, whoa, okay. Uh, yeah, I've almost never used these. The only time I've used them was when it was by accident. So I personally say don't stay away from the small flat rate. If you're going to go flat rate, go larger. So here's where we have the priority mail flat rate medium box, and you can tell just from the shape. The medium box is just called medium box. The side loading is called side loading. Do you see that? So that's how you know the difference there. And then of course you have the standard. Here's the shoebox that I mentioned. We're going to skip over the military care kits and things like that. I am, if you don't mind, going to take a second, thank our veterans in advance of and remind everybody that Memorial Day is not a day to thank a veteran. It is a day to remember those who gave their lives. So yeah, it's a holiday and it's great for barbecues. It's also not the day to thank a veteran. So if you have someone that you remember, if you'd like to share them with me personally, you're welcome to send them. My brother is a 14-year veteran and it's just really important to me. So thank you.
That is literally the
Um,
name of my show on Monday, is why we don't say thank you, or why we
oh,
don't say
perfect. Thank you for your
Happy
service.
Memorial Day.
Oh, there, that works too. Exactly. Okay, so this, if you remember, guys, I said to you at the start, I said when we filter, we can go to priority mail, and we said there's also the free shipping supplies, right? Um, this is something that I want you to all pay attention to. So see how it says prepaid flat rate envelope. Do not do that. That means you're paying for shipping in advance. Why would you do that if your customers are going to pay shipping or you are? But regardless, Whatnot's going to take care of that. Thank you, Bet Mandrill. Good to know. Thank you. So pay attention. Don't do the prepaids. Now, the beauty of forever prepaids, maybe you want that for yourself in life because these are exactly like the forever stamps. Okay? So when postage goes up, if you have these boxes, they're paid for. That's what they're for. Okay? They're already paid for. There's the priority mail large. Now here is the fun part. Okay, this is my personal favorite right here. Shipping labels for priority and Sister Pete. Here's where we go. I'm going to skip the pack of 10 because I just don't think it's realistic. Okay. Priority mail labels, roll of 250, self adhesive. This is, and I sent mine to my friend, and so I'm still waiting on mine. But if you are shipping, and it says it here, these labels are convenient if you have plenty of USPS priority mail packages to ship. You can use your own packaging material and affix the label. So if you're using a brown box, here you go. These are stickers. They're 3 by 1, almost 2 inches. Okay. Do you have them, Ro?
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God,
do.
even better. Thank you. Yay.
Somewhere.
Because last time when I showed you guys, that's when I ordered them, if you recall.
Yeah, I
That was a
went in
couple
and
weeks
asked the
ago.
post office. I went in and asked the post office, and they actually gave me like 10 of them. So,
Okay, yeah, because that's how you can get them as a pack of 10. So see that? You do not have to use them. The beauty of them, though, is that it lets the post office know, hey, that's a priority mail package. We will try our best to expedite it. As I said at the start of my portion, they do not guarantee standard priority shipping. They only guarantee priority mail express. However, it does help. I like them. I put one on each side of the box if I'm using a brown box. They come in a roll of 250 and they're stickers. So here's where it comes to ordering. Okay. This comes only as a roll of 250. Choose, if you see it's $0, it's free. Choose a quantity, minimum 1, maximum 1. That means I can only order the one. I'm going to add it to my cart. Okay. I'm going to continue shopping. Okay. We're going to go back to supplies because I want to show you with the boxes. So priority mail, here's the priority mails. We're going to go to page 3 because the small boxes are always on page 3. Priority mail, small box. This is the one you want. Okay. Not the flat rate for using the small boxes. Again, we want to pay attention to those. Okay. Here's my small boxes. Now, it'll give me my information, right? Tells you what it is. It tells you actually what it accommodates, which is nice. In general, it gives you those dimensions, the inner dimensions. And now it shows you, so choose a format. You can choose a pack of 10 or you can choose a pack of 25. Now, what's interesting is when you choose a pack of 10, you can only get 2 packs. If you choose a pack of 25, you can get 22. Isn't that ironic? Correct, Lehman. Correct. You cannot. That is ground shipping. You may not use priority materials.
can we pause on that for just a moment too? Um,
Absolutely.
I want to emphasize also that you also cannot use the padded mailers as um, filling for your boxes or anything if it's not a priority box. If you get caught doing that, they can reject your box and they can put the extra charge for priority on your box, and that is going to go on to your customer. So only use priority supplies for priority shipments.
I'm
Nothing else.
gonna I'm gonna go further than that. It is a federal crime to
It is.
use this in your ground shipping. It is a federal crime. Do not do it. It's not worth it. Go around on garbage day and collect boxes and shipping materials if you have to. Go on Facebook Marketplace. People are always giving away packing materials from moving supplies. Do that. Don't commit a crime for that. That's if
Yeah,
you're going to
and
commit a
I
crime, make it a good one. No, I'm kidding. Don't
I
commit
still get it.
crimes.
I still get
But
it all the time. Like I literally have a giant orange bag that is full of priority mailers, bubble wrap mailers that people have sent me in packages, and I don't want to throw them away, but I also cannot use them in the mailing of stuff, right? So like what do you do with them now? Like, I'm not going to use 500 million that I have received in boxes illegally, but I also don't want to throw them away. So whenever I go vending, I do use them for the padding for my vending stuff. So,
Well, so I'll tell
um,
you, who just did it with me. I don't remember who I got a package from recently that did this. Um, they do the same thing. They collect them, save them, and then they shred them, and then they use them because they're used already. They
yeah, that's
actually
what I
sent
was
me a
wondering. Like,
message telling me these are used.
yeah.
So please be aware, these are used. These are things I received, and I'm just literally recycling, and they shred them and use them as padding.
Yeah, they
Um,
must not be recognizable for you to reuse them though. So shredding them is appropriate, but even if they are already used and you put them in and use them as padding, you can still get in trouble. So make
yeah,
sure, like you said, it cannot be recognizable. And then the other thing is you cannot put a wrapper over a priority box and
correct.
use it because they know their boxes, they know their scans, and that's again misusing the products that you've been giving
Yeah. You
for free.
please, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Like, why? Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it is. It is a federal offense.
Any mail crime is federal. It's automatically federal because mail is a federal, the postal service is federal. So it's always going to be a federal crime. So opening somebody's mail, all that, it's all federal because of that. Um, I'm a huge proponent of being honest. Like it's never worth it. So now I want to show you, this is how they come when you order a pack of 25 small boxes, okay? Or any, obviously they'll come differently. These ones just come shrink wrapped, but you can see they ship it via ground for free. Otherwise I could pay, but why would I do that? I'm going to get them for free, right? And it comes, this is my pack of 25 boxes. For the ones that are standard, rectangular shape, they'll have the not zip tie, but that, that material. I can't think of what it's called, but it's okay. The plastic wrapped around it as well. But that's how you'll receive them. Okay. And so now we'll flip back here. So now I can choose, do I need 10? Do I need 25? To me, better safe than sorry, order 25, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I order 100 because it's going
I
to
mean,
take
and they're pretty
time.
compact too. I mean, they're, for
Yeah.
as far as storage comes, if you're going to have one, you might as well have the 25 because it only is the thickness then that matters.
Right. And I literally just keep them in a pile and they're there and they're ready to go. So I'll add to cart. And at this point, we'll pretend that I chose all the boxes that I want. Okay. So I'll go to checkout. Now, here's where it's going to ask me to check in. Again, benefits of a USPS account. Informed delivery is wonderful. Just personal recommendation. I'm going to go in here, multi-factor. Of course, it's going to do this to me. Hold on. Give me one sec, guys. 031. Oh, because my computer updated. Okay, I forgot. Okay. There we go. We're back. So here's my subtotal now. I'm gonna get rid of this just because I don't want it. But I am gonna try to order the stickers again. So I'll leave that in there. Okay. But we're gonna leave the stickers there. It's gonna be free. And if they come in, what I'll do is I'll just bring them. If I get both, I will bring one back to the post office or I'll send it to one of you if you need it. Okay, so I'll go to checkout now. Here's my order summary. It's going to give me my old address. Let's go to my new address. Ship to this address. Privacy Act. By the way, all of that is telling me there. It's reminding me that I cannot use it for anything else. Okay. Select my shipping method. So this is the part that I was mentioning. So you have the USPS Ground Advantage. It's going to estimated is 2 to 5 days. Priority mail estimated 1 to 3 days. Again, it's telling you we are not going to guarantee anything. So I could pay 1962 and it still might not show up within 1 to 3 days, right? Also, why would I pay that if it's free? right? Okay, confirm. It's still not confirmed. I have not placed my order yet. It brought me to another page. And now I'm going to go here and place order, terms and conditions. And this is the part that where it's going to remind us, okay, I understand priority mail, blah, blah, blah. International packaging is the property of the US Postal Service and is provided solely for shipments properly paid at prices that correspond with the service displayed on the packaging. Misuse, including fraudulent orders, may be a violation of federal law. Misuse and fraudulent orders include, but are not limited to, ordering quantities of packaging beyond what will be reasonably used for shipping with the United States Postal Service, sending packaging to an unsuspecting recipient, blah, 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 and or using packaging or for purposes other than for shipping with the US Postal Service at pricing the mailer is legally allowed to pay for the service printed on the package. So it's telling you, and you're going to agree to that, that that's what I'm using it for. Okay. And now my shipment has been placed, and one of these days I will hopefully receive it. So I just agreed again to uphold the law. Okay. Um, and my computer is still not loading. It's having one of those days. Some days it does, some days it doesn't. And it makes me literally crazy, but I want to get into my seller hub.
So, you're probably going to address this, but my biggest question is when am I allowed to use this one, and how do I choose this one?
So that's what I was trying to
Um,
get into. Yeah.
okay, because
Okay. And I just
I
made it
want to
in.
use these, but I'm scared.
Okay. I do want to show because I'm very proud of this, guys. Um, if you want
Hi, Todd.
verification that I know what I'm doing, I am at $0 adjustments total. So I'm very proud of myself. I'm at 100% lower than other sellers in my category. My category is not always resin. It depends what I'm purchasing, what I'm selling. Um, which if you're in my shows when I'm selling other items, it's why I have listings for other items. Like I have a jewelry listing because it's not a resin item. But I'm gonna go into my shipments. Okay, and I'm gonna go to, oh, that's my local pickup. You don't need to see that one.
Was that in your analytics, by the way?
So when you enter your seller hub up here,
Mm-hmm.
I get at the top, changes are coming, and I can say view
Yeah.
my adjustments.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to my
I'm not going to show
shipments.
you mine.
You're good.
It's not that bad. I'm just kidding. But yeah,
You're
I'm not
good.
at 0%. Oh, I
Okay.
am at 0%. It must be an average.
It's per month, yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it's like a specific amount of time. I think my overall total is $2 though, if I'm not mistaken. Um, okay, so here we go. So this is, I just want to show Kaylin had won a giveaway. This one's not hers. But this is the PWE that Ro mentioned, right? And it creates that label, that shipping label for me. And I put it on a regular first class envelope. Nothing to see here. Something random. I don't know that you guys do. I don't put the label on the front of the envelope. I actually put it over the flap just because that seals my envelope for me. So just something to think about. If you're once you're working with labels. Random, I know, but yeah. Hers is gonna ship today. So let's go here. Let's go to stare. Oh shoot, now that I confirmed it as shipping. Yeah, I can still do it. Okay. So this is Mary. She ordered a tray. She purchased a resin tray from me yesterday. Okay. And it shipped via Ground Advantage. Now let's say this is adjustments. We get 5 per week. Did you go over this part?
I did not.
Okay.
Nothing
So
labeled.
okay. So when you're shipping, I'm just gonna flip back to me. Um, you have you generate your labels, right? Um, and like it says carrier adjustment fees, and I'll go over that. But um, Whatnot does forgive you 5 labels per week. Okay. And what that means is say I print this I generate this label for her giveaway, and I realize, oops, this giveaway was not a sticker giveaway. This giveaway was a keychain giveaway. For a keychain giveaway, I can't use this. It's not first class mail, right? It's got some it's not only got weight to it, it's also got volume. First class mail must be flat. Must be flat. Okay.
And
USPS,
not have any raised edges that will get stuck in the machine. Even if it fits through, even if it fits through the hole and you're like, "Oh, it fits through the hole," but if there's a raised edge and it catches in
like
the
the slot.
machine,
Yeah,
it's going to be trashed.
correct. They're changing that too. I don't know if they're still gonna, so yes, they are bent. My understanding, and I may be wrong, is that we'll still have those 5. I could be wrong,
So,
but it depends how you use those 5, I think.
yeah. I was looking at mine. I've actually only used 10 adjustments in a year and a half. So,
That's great.
and most of those have been, I mean, I've only had 2 this year. Most of those were my first year in. So, not
That's
too bad.
great. Yeah. And were the adjustments, like, meaning in terms of charges that
Like
whatnot covered money for, is what you're saying?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a difference in adjustments where whatnot covers money, and there's a difference, and then where they cover money after the fact or before the fact. So, and that's what I'm talking about. So now let's flip back to the camera. So, okay, so let's pretend, okay, that I generated this label, I even scanned it. There you go. Okay. Yes, I've used it a number of times. I've just only used where whatnot had to pay for $2. And that's what I mean when I'll show you what I mean, because that's because the post office charged them and they paid. This is before the post office, right? So I can go here and I can say, oops, that was USPS, that was a PWE. I meant it to be ground. Maybe I even meant it to be priority. Okay. So I click on that user's name here and I'm going to generate a new label. When I say generate, oh, let me go to somebody who bought something more than one item. Hold on. Let's go here. Hers is, I wonder if it will
And
allow it because
sometimes
it's
too,
already in
like
transit. Yeah. Oh, it
that
does.
adjustment sometimes comes as a result of how whatnot bundled your shipping. So that's why those adjustments are in there also because they know that not every computer generated um
Correct.
weight is going to
Label.
happen
Right.
correctly on their side either. So
And
they're not really meant to be used as, oh, well, I get 5 of these a month. I'm going to go ahead and put a whole bunch of extra stuff in this box and then adjust that. It's really meant to be used as, okay, this box wound up being heavier than I anticipated, or this item wound up being more bubble wrap than I anticipated, or whatnot has bundled those in a way that no longer fits that weight on that label. So that's really
very
what they were
true
meant
as
to be
well.
used for.
Yeah. Thank you. That is a good point. I'm just using that as an example to show, sorry, that's a very
Yeah.
good point though. I'm just for speaking purposes, but you're right. So, okay, this is 9 items. So let me go to generate new label. So here, this is what I wanted. Okay. And this is where whatnot bundled, let's say whatnot bundled it incorrectly, right? Or I have 9 items here and only 5 are going to fit into a box and I need
Right.
4 to go into a separate box because of the size. So immediately it selects all of them for me. I can untoggle select all and now I can choose which items are going to fit into whichever box it is, right? This is just so you guys can see my listings. If I have a 0 before the number, that's how I know it's a resin listing. And if I don't have a 0, then it's a non-resin listing, just my personal thing that I do for me, so that I can track what I'm selling. Um, sorry, side note. Um,
Also do that. Mine is a W and an R, resell and I can't remember why I chose the W, but I couldn't have resell and resin both be an R.
right, exactly. So yeah, we all have that thing that we do, you know? Okay, but let's say I only wanted those 5 items. I'm gonna go here. Or 4 items. I'm gonna choose these first 4, okay? Now, I'm gonna hit next. And now here's where I get here. It always moves to the bottom. Why? I don't know. So, flat rate. settings. This is what we pop up at. If you don't ship flat rate, we will generate a USPS priority mail label or a media mail label when applicable. For any packages over 5 pounds that get updated to priority mail, you may be charged the difference in cost. Okay, so here's where it gets sticky for a lot of people. Okay, and that's why I want you to really, really, really pay attention. So, flat rate boxes. If I want to use one of those 4 that I showed, right? Rose showed you guys the large. I showed you the small and the 2 mediums. Sorry. Okay. The side loading medium and where is it? The small and the top loading medium, which is at my feet, right? But if I want to use any of those, I'm going to toggle flat rate. Automatically I select what flat rate box I'm choosing. And if you recall, when we were on the website, I went over, right? There's the envelopes, there's the padded envelope, which I did show as well. These, once I select this, let's say I choose that, remember there's the top versus side. So I choose the top loading. My dimensions are automatically put in. Why? Because that is a specific box. I will not touch those dimensions, no matter what. Okay. Also, if you notice, there's no weight to input because the weight doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay. Very, very, very important. If I want, and this is the other thing that adjustments are good for, maybe it's something that's less than $500. Whatnot did now add, they require that you signature require and they charge you for it for more than $500 for a shipment. But maybe it's less, but it's precious and you want to add insurance. It's priceless. It's whatever, right? Now I can do that here. I can toggle it on. It's going to ask me what my contents are, right? And let's go here and I will write, we'll pretend that it's jewelry because why not? And then I'm going to require signature as well. Okay. So, or here, I'm not going to require signature here. Let's go here. If you notice, insurance is always going to charge me. Whatnot is going to charge me. See my total adjustment cost? They are going to charge me. This is not covered by free adjustment allowances. And that's fine because it's important to me. But I want you to just see that. Okay. So not all adjustments that they offer, even within those 5, are covered. So that's for flat rate, right? Let's say I did that. Okay. I hit next here. So I got rid of the insurance, so it's not going to charge me anything. It is, however, going to switch it for me to a medium flat rate. If I hit next, I'm still going to, it's going to confirm, it's going to ask me to confirm for those 4 items, and then I would hit generate shipping label. I don't want it. My stuff is already it's on the way. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel. The other option is to turn off flat rate boxes. Here's where it gets really sticky and tricky. Okay. The first thing that you notice if you don't have flat rate toggled is that weight is there as an option, right? For priority mail, for Whatnot to cover those costs, because presumably it weighed a little bit more, but not that much more, right? Priority, and because of Whatnot's shipping policies, for those adjustments, they're only going to cover up to 5 pounds. So the first thing I do, just so you know, so that I remember that I need to make sure that this is a priority shipment, is I'm going to switch those ounces to pounds. Okay. Now I'm going to put in my weight. You want to, you're going to round up as opposed to down. So let's say my package is 3.5 pounds. It's going to now weigh 4 pounds. My package weighs 1 pound, 4 ounces. Oops. Nope. No longer. It is now 2 pounds because it only wants my weight. Okay. Did that make sense so far? Okay. Now I'm going to go up here. So I'm going to leave it at 4 pounds. Now I'm going to go back to my dimensions. And that's just because I have forgotten to adjust the weight so many times because I get so fixated on the dimensions that I forget about the weight. So that's my personal thing that helps me. Maybe for you, it works the other way. Figure out what works for you. Okay. That's just for me. That's like literally the only way to make sure that I actually put the correct weight in because I've had to regenerate 3 times because I kept forgetting to adjust the weight. So now I'm going to use that box, my favorite box. Okay. So flat rate is not toggled, which is why I can now, that's why the weight is there to begin with, by the way.
That's where I've
Right?
been making my mistake.
Yep. And that's the most common one because we think we have to toggle flat rate. We do not. Leave it alone. That being said, if it's under 1 pound, when it generates that label for you, it will be ground shipping. It will not be priority, no matter what. Okay?
So you can't use that box.
Not if it's under 1 pound.
Okay.
So figure out a way to use more stuffing.
You're getting this wolf and a rock.
Literally, right? Listen, I'm being realistic, okay? Add gravel,
Add gravel,
exactly.
yeah.
So this is, I'm gonna work with my outer dimensions, not my inner dimensions, okay? Because that's what the post office is paying attention to. So it's 7 1/4. 7.25 and by 6.5. Okay. And we'll just make it 1 pound. Okay. It must be at least 1 pound. If it is not a pound, it will be ground. If it is more than 1 pound, you will be charged. Okay. I'm sorry, if it's more than 5 pounds. So now I'm going to
Okay.
go to 6 pounds. Okay. I'm going to go to 6 pounds. Now, wait, let me go back up here. Let's go to 5. And I want to show you the difference. Okay. 5, right? Base shipping cost paid by seller was $1.42 because it was a giveaway. Well, no, that one was not, but whatever. That's the amount that I covered because I covered more than $9. Ooh, I like that. Bent, that's great. If it's not a pound, it's going ground. Ooh, you're good. Okay. Yeah. So I covered, I do max shipping 921. So I covered $1.42 of my customer's shipping, right? My adjustment cost would be $9.21 because I'm now making 2 labels out of 1 label. This was initially priority shipping, but again, I divided that. Remember, there were 9 items and I chose 4. So it's going to cost me, it would cost me an additional 921. However, I only used one of my adjustments this week. So I still have 4 left. So my adjustment cost would be free. So it would be 0, right? Do you see that? I would hit next, then I would confirm. That's because my item weight is 4.97 pounds. Apparently, it just adjusted it for me. Let's go to 6 pounds. Okay. 6 pounds, boom, they're going to charge me $9.21. Okay. The reason for that is when we do show setup, in those shipping settings, thank you so much.
Hey, GTC.
In those show settings, when we did our shipping setup, we chose, right? It says you get to choose whether or not to toggle on. Do you need me to go over that? I can do that.
Sure.
Row shipping.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that. Hold on. Let's create a show. Schedule the show. Okay. Here. I went into schedule a show. Let's go to my shipping settings. I use free pickup, but not everybody does. If you want, I can go over it. But here we go. So here's domestic shipments. Okay. This is where I can toggle on for PWE. Okay. Please pay attention. It says under $20, weighs 3 ounces or less, must be in these categories: trading card games, sports cards, or stickers. And there's the criteria here. If you do not toggle this on, even if you're selling stickers, it will still charge standard ground shipping. Okay. Just know that, including for your giveaways. Actually, I don't think so for your giveaways. Never mind, ignore me. Hey Jen, how are you? If we do, now here's where this is the reason that the 6 pound thing matters. Okay. Domestic shipments from 1 to 5 pounds arrives in 1 to 3 business days, blah, blah, blah. It automatically sets it to priority. I can set it to flat rate. To me, there's no purpose to doing that. Over 5 pounds, domestic shipments over 5 pounds, Whatnot automatically goes to ground. Okay, they want you to switch to ground. Why? Because ground is less expensive at that point. Because of that, or they want you to do a fixed rate, they want you to do flat rate. And so, because of that, right there, if I choose 6 pounds, I am now going to be charged. Okay, when I make my adjustment. Literally, this is your reason right here. So you never, once it's more than 5 pounds, you are going to be charged. If it's less than 5 pounds, you get those 5. Sorry. I don't know if this is the correct one, but yeah, it is. Okay. Try again. Oh, now it's decided. Oh yeah, it is on the way. I wonder if they just like scanned it in the post office. That's so funny. Because it just wouldn't load. Okay. So did that make sense? Sorry. Questions about that? Any of that? Because that was a lot. We went over like ordering the shipping material. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot. I'm so sorry.
That's okay because you guys can rewatch this.
Yes.
As she said earlier in the show, for those of you just popping in, if you really, really just want to buy some stickers, down below, there is buy a sticker to save the show for 30 days, or you can go to Basement Brats Art on YouTube, and this will be on there. My YouTube is weirdly changing it's changing the day, the
The
actual.
timestamps.
No, it's putting the title of the one that is up and coming on the show that is now. So it's
Oh,
off by an entire day or an entire show. But I will go in and make sure that this one is actually adjusted correctly and that it's the same thumbnail as what I used on Whatnot. And you just click on the live buttons, and all the shows that I've done are there. And this one will be in there. For those of you who are Resonators, it will actually be posted in the education section of our Discord. So, but yeah, those of you that are just popping in that are not part of those, you can go there for free.
I can go over that with you, Todd. Give me one sec. I did get it to reload. So I do want to review though quickly because I got it to reload and I switched. I just want to show what it does not toggle when I want to adjust my shipment. It doesn't go to flat rate, but what it does automatically do is it gives me a 12 by 12 by 12 in scale, okay, of my box. It leaves the weight to whatever the weight. I don't know how it chose that. I guess because it was 4 items. I don't know.
I think there was an update a couple of days ago because my desktop looks different than it did a couple days ago. There's some added stuff in there.
Oh, really?
So that may have been, yeah. They added in what was different? Something that happened during a live show.
Huh.
And I was like, "Oh, well, that's really cool."
Oh, did you see that you could see pending payments? I don't
Yeah,
know if that
that was
ever
one of
matters for
them.
you. I love that. I
Yeah.
actually really appreciate that.
Yeah, there's that one, and then there's something else that just came in that I was like, "Oh, that is really cool." Now I don't remember what the heck it was.
Hmm.
I don't
Okay.
see anything, maybe it was in Seller Hub? It might be under shipments.
I don't
Something in
know if
shipments was
I'm
different.
thinking if I have a way to show you how to do label generation in my. It's like I just don't want people to see you to see other people's.
I know there was something yesterday that I saw that was different. And I was like, "Oh, that's new." And it was cool, but now I don't know what it was, so I won't be able to figure out how to use it again. I'll come across it one day.
Oops. Okay, give me one sec. Wait, no, I know how to do it. Okay, let me just show it one more time.
Todd, that's a very good
Reseller.
question because when I first started, my labels printed out 8.5 by 11, and it took me forever to figure out how to get them to the 4 by 6.
Yeah, let me generate. I'm gonna generate a new label for this one because this has not been dropped off yet. 2x4
it did that as well.
sound really?
It's very, very small. Yeah, it's the standard setting for
Yeah,
some reason is 2x4.
interesting. Failed to fetch. Try
And it
changing the
would print out
weight.
on an
Yeah.
8x11 sheet at 2x4.
Oh wait, no,
It
not
was a
this
mess.
one. Hold on, not this one. Cancel. Let's do hers. Wait, is this one on the way or is this something from today? No, that's not. What's yesterday's here? Okay. Sorry, I just don't want to mess with anything that's already in the postal service.
Yep.
So I'm like, hold
That's the
on.
best thing to have, my
Give me a
friend. Best thing
second.
to have.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna just
Me too.
regenerate this. I'll just adjust the weight to 15 ounces. So I'm adjusting the weight on this to 15 ounces. It's still gonna be ground, which is good because I'll be able to show you guys that. Okay, so next I'll be charged $0, right? Generate shipping label. Hold on. Okay. Now here's where, okay. So if I go to print shipping label, no. Is it an export? Where is it?
I know I remember it being difficult to find.
Freak. Give me
So
one sec. Oh, it might be an export. Um, hmm.
I remember it being so difficult to find. So I was going to go and look real quick. I think it might be actually when you're in the printing.
Well, it's both, but it should have. Do you have a label that you need to generate?
That's what I was going to look at. See, I was trying to,
Because
I
that's
don't know
where it
why.
will be.
Oh, there we go.
I do want to
Okay.
show though. So I adjusted it to 15 ounces, if you see, and so it still stayed as ground shipping, if you see that, right? Because it's less than a pound. So even though I generated a new label, it did retain its ground status. I think it's when you generate those initial labels. I'm sorry. And I don't have any that I need to, and I don't print them from my computer. I print them because my printer is like Bluetooth wireless, but only from my phone for my label
Okay.
printing.
So it is when you go in to actually generate the label. So you're going to go in, you generate your label. Sorry, I don't know how to hide the thing. So
It's
when you
okay.
go to hit print, you will actually you'll get your what printer it's going to, your pages, your copies, and what colors, right? So you're using a thermal printer, so you should have that set to default black and white. But when you hit more settings, this is where you get your paper size. And once you actually set it to that, it should stay.
But hold on. No, but Todd, is it generating as if it's going onto an 8.5 by 11 sheet, or is it generating as if it's going to go onto a thermal? Is it just the size that's wrong, or is it the layout? Is it giving you a label on half the page and then you have a blank half page? Because that's in your label. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's the label generation settings.
Okay.
Um,
Let me see if I can find that.
I feel bad. I shouldn't have generated my labels last night. I was all proud of myself because I did all my shipping. And it's ready to go.
I did print one I didn't need, unfortunately.
um,
Um,
After I stream today, I can go over it with you. Is that helpful?
where in the heck is that? I know it's so hard to find.
Or if you want to go into Do you want to create Joe's label right now? It is. I know exactly where it is. Okay. Todd, do you have labels to generate by any chance? I can't show it, but I know where it is, if that's helpful. He just sent you a pic. Okay. So if you open your shipping sidebar and you hit generate labels, okay, you get a pop-up, right?
Oh, that's
And it's
right.
gonna
That's
and
right.
it
That's right.
asks you what kind of format you want those labels to be in.
It's down at the
And
bottom right
that's
here. So when you go to generate that, it's down here at the very bottom.
yeah, so you get your default label. Well, you have that set up already. Yeah, so he does too. So
Yeah.
if you see you have shipping labels and you can choose, and from there you choose the label format. And if you want packing slips, but that's where you will do it and we'll decide if it is but if can you open up the shipping labels again for a sec? That one? Uh-huh. And do the drop down. So see how you have the 8.5 by 11 or you have the 4x6? So you want to make sure that you choose the 4x6. The 4x6 option is the one that will generate Semper Fi. The 4x6 option is the one that
Oh,
is going to generate according to a thermal label printer uh, as opposed to a standard paper printer, an ink printer. Does that make sense? How was work?
I couldn't figure out. I knew it was hard to find.
And I'm like,
So
I know where it
right.
is. I just need to get it. No, but I thought you worked overnight last night. Okay, never mind. Well, good, even better.
It's been pouring here for 3 days.
Oh,
The
seriously?
whole East Coast is getting soaked. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's
I
really
love the rain. So for me,
well,
I hate
yeah,
the people that have to work out in it. I hate that there is rain, but then it's also terrible when you work and they cancel you for rain because then you don't get a paycheck.
there is that.
So,
Yeah. I'm getting ready to move to Portland, Oregon, so I'm about to get into rain country. And I'm really
oh,
excited
I'm so
actually.
jealous. I'm so
Yeah, I'm
jealous.
really excited.
Oh,
Coming
I
from
don't. I like the
Vegas, I'm
suburbs
like,
of Portland, not necessarily Portland,
that's
but I like the
exactly. Yeah,
suburbs.
I'm going just north, like literally right across the river from Washington. Like just it's like you're outside and it's like you hear like frogs croaking.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you going to? Is it? Um, trying to think of the name of the city that's right there.
There's a lot. Boring,
There are a lot.
Grisham.
Yeah, they're
I
all
don't actually
amazing. I
know
love them
exactly
all.
where yet. I'm not gonna lie. Um, haven't decided that part yet, but I'm going there this summer. So
For me, it's Hillsboro. That's where. And I'm trying to think of the other city, but yeah, Hillsboro is the town I like.
so go
It's
to
it's really a
your
suburb.
when you hit generate labels, do you get a pop-up, Todd? If you tap the word generate labels.
Let me show you again.
Oh, me, yeah, Oregon. Well, mine is if you tap, but when you hit generate, in addition to that, you should get a pop-up window.
I'm gonna actually generate this one because I can do this one right now. I gotta hide. How do I hide? Oh, I have to hide it on this thing to hide the address. Okay. So you're gonna generate label.
Oh, I
Let's
usually
see if
do it
I
on
can be
the right
fast enough.
side. Nope, yours did it. Interesting.
And
Huh.
then you go, oh, I did it without
No, you're good. Go,
like,
can you go back to the sidebar though?
yeah.
That's what he needs to see is the sidebar.
I didn't mean to do that. So let me go back to
How
that.
dare you?
You click into this and it creates this sidebar for you.
Oh,
And
nice.
then you
Yeah,
scroll down.
to the
It didn't
bottom.
let me do it. It didn't let me do it because I already generated it.
I don't usually
So
hit
let me go.
generate from the main part of your window row. I usually hit generate from that sidebar, and then I get that pop
Yeah,
up.
I usually don't do that either. So I don't know what the heck I was
I
doing.
think that's
Okay.
why.
So
That's cool.
Simplify, is it okay if I show your label?
He doesn't care.
Okay.
So yeah, go up top. And nope, all the way up. Keep going.
That is all the way up.
Oh, there's generate. I'm sorry, ignore me. It's so weird to see it from a different perspective. Did I expect it to ship? No, it does. It just generates because that's how you have your settings set. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So that's not where it is. Because once you generate it, it doesn't let you change the setting. So,
but
and I'll have to
you
change
had
that
it, where
later.
did you have it? At the bottom right, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
it's
just here,
actually
just scroll
in,
down to the bottom. Yeah, in the sidebar though.
yeah, once you generate the label, you can't do it there.
No, but I'm saying before you do. The one that you haven't done yet.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
down at the bottom. So let's do one more.
We're trying to help Todd figure out how to change his settings so that the labels generate for a thermal printer as opposed to for an ink printer. Hey Empress, how are you?
Okay, so here's where it should be, right?
No, before the printer settings, Semperfi. We're talking no, you did it before you got to generate. Not go to something you haven't generated at all. We're going over
Well,
shipping
I was going
and
to
how
see
to
if it
ship.
came into new generation.
Oh, okay.
And you have to
That,
click here to get that.
and
See,
now
why is
scroll
it not
down.
letting me have it?
Remember all the way at
I
the bottom
did.
you had it.
Oh, I'm scrolling down the wrong. No, it's not there.
Oh,
It's so
because you
weird.
already generated your first label for this show.
Oh, so let me go into a different
Where
show.
do you see that? Wait, hold on. Semperfi, where's edit? Oh, yes, thank you. Ha, he's genius. Go to edit
It's
show.
in edit shipping details. That's what I was saying earlier, right? No?
No. That's shipping. No. We want to ship. It's just the label generation. Yes, I'm sharing my knowledge. We're all sharing our
Let me go
knowledge.
into a show that I have not. Okay, I haven't generated any from here.
Okay. So just click on that show. Okay, so now X out of that sidebar. Close the sidebar completely. And now, no, that's not what we're talking about, Semper. Okay, so now you're in this show. Now open the sidebar. And now you should be able to scroll all the way down. Yeah.
There it is. Yep.
So see there, see how now,
So
okay,
before you
so
ship an entire show, I didn't know that. So before you ship an entire show is the only place you can find it.
yeah, so you go to the label options and that's where you have your label, shipping labels, and that's where you can choose the, hit the pencil. So you wanna switch it from 8.5 by 11 to 4 by 6 if you have it set to 8.5 by 11. And that's how it chooses the formatting for it. Once you've done that, yep, you're welcome. Once you've done that, then you could even have 4 by 8 labels, it doesn't matter. But the 4 by 6 means that it's a thermal printer, meaning that it's a label printer as opposed to an ink printer. And that's the part that they care about. So you could even have 8.5 by 11 thermal papers, but still format it for 4 by 6. Because that's
Is
what it
this where
means.
I get the
Manifest.
oh, this is where I get the manifest.
Hmm.
Okay. Because my post office did ask me to do that when I have a bunch.
Okay. Oh, I do want to mention that with scanning, actually, for post office.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can do the manifest. You are um, also allowed, first of all, I don't know, do you guys know about scheduling a pickup, a
No,
shipping pickup from the
I
post
have not
office?
done that yet. because I do most of my shipping super late at night, so um,
Okay,
I'm afraid to leave them out or
that's fair. That makes sense. But you can ask them to ring the bell, just so you know. That's literally in there. You can put the notes in if that's something that's important to you. Um, just I want to put that out there. But on USPS, on their website, you can schedule a shipping pickup if you want. And even if you go into the post office, I mean, I hate doing it if there's a line. So I usually do it the self machine. Um, you can ask them to scan, and they are legally required, if you ask, to agree to scan every single package. If that matters to you, you can require that from them. Obviously, be nice about it, be smart, be wise, be everything, be kind.
yeah. I
It
was
is your
also
right.
told I was also told though if you use the self kiosks, they don't actually generate that scan from the post office. It still only generates that second hit on the algorithm if you go through the line and they actually scan it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually Whatnot Seller Chat actually mentioned that as well.
Even if you
So in order
scan it in
for
the machine, because I scan each one.
yep, because
Okay.
that's how when I first got the new update, you know, the one where they
Oh,
changed
oh,
everything, I went down
yeah.
into like the 80s and I was like, I don't understand that. I've scanned everything. And I got a note back that says you actually have to scan it through the post office itself, not a kiosk, to get that second generation. So it's whenever they decide to scan it in the back, and that can actually hurt your algorithm, will hurt your shipping status. So I was doing the same thing because I love the kiosk. Now I'm having to stand in line.
Well,
So if you do that printout, they will actually just scan them all right there, and then it's easier for you. But it's because they want the weight measured before, even though the machine weighs it. I don't understand what the difference between the
oh,
kiosk and the
no, the
person
machine doesn't
actually
weigh it.
weighing it.
The kiosk doesn't weigh it.
Oh no,
Not if
because
you're
you're just scanning the
self-scanning.
box. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're scanning the box. I'm sorry, that's what it was. They wanted actually weighed by the post office to actually hit that generation of that scan by the post office. So the kiosk
that's
does not.
interesting
Yeah,
because
and
it
you're
doesn't
right.
affect my
USPS doesn't
numbers.
scan till the next day.
It doesn't because it
My
doesn't affect my numbers as long as I scanned it on my end
Oh, it
right
did
away.
mine. It did mine. I
Really?
went into the low 80s when they did that update where they changed everything, and that's why I wrote them. And I was like, I had everything at the post office. I scanned it in the kiosk like the day before the time. I don't understand why I got this. And they said, well, you if you're using the kiosk, that's exactly how that happened.
The
It has
only
to be
thing
weighed by the post office.
the only thing I'd gotten hit by, because I didn't realize, because USPS doesn't track these. Did you know that you can
Yeah,
scan these in Whatnot? Whatnot can scan them. And that was
yeah,
I hadn't realized when Whatnot added that, that changed everything for me because I was like, okay, good. Now that's scanned. I've never run into that problem though. It didn't
yeah. And
affect my numbers at all.
they also said, oh, it did mine, and I know the same thing happened to Bent, if I'm not
It must
mistaken.
be what you're saying, meaning different post offices and when they scan it. That's interesting. It's
Yeah,
good to know. Thank
yeah,
you.
exactly. Because mine doesn't scan till the next day. And
No
they've
matter what
said that
time you bring
because,
it.
yeah, because it's not the main post office in our town. So
Okay.
it
Mine is one
still
of the
has
big
to be shipped to the
ones.
main post office to, I don't know, it's just a weird thing. So
Mine
yeah,
is one of
they
the big
said for
ones, so that
sure
makes sense.
scan yours and then you have to actually go to the actual person and get it scanned. So, I don't know if I should use the manifest though, because that is again them not weighing the package and hitting that scan button. So I'm kind of confused. So I have asked them, I said, no, I really do need you to scan them because it affects my shipping inside the app. And they said, well, just we're busy. So I had to actually go off, stand to the side and wait for them to scan everything in.
So
So they
according
didn't
to
refuse
that,
to do it. They just made me wait
yeah,
to get it
well
scanned in until they weren't as busy.
they cannot refuse. You will run into grumpy postal workers, and I get it because people are, really nasty. Um, but they are required. They will refuse. You'll get that person who's grumpy and wants to refuse, but it's actually that's not true. They are required.
So
Um,
UPS is actually in the beta stages of us accepting UPS. There are people who are testing that here in the United States. That's why if you read the update that they sent out this last week, UPS was actually mentioned in that. But it's really for their, not everybody has that opportunity right now. It's just in the beta stages of testing here in the US. So
yeah,
that is going to be
so
an option, I think, for us later if it works out.
yeah. Um, but I would say that's so interesting. Based on that then, I would say have them do pickup because although
They have to scan
according
it
to
there,
what you're
but they don't
saying,
they don't necessarily scan it either though,
they
because
can, but you
they
can
don't
ask them
count, they
to.
can't weigh it.
They can't
Yeah,
weigh it,
but
but they do scan each package. You can ask them to scan each
see,
individual package.
I wonder what the difference between that is and scanning at the kiosk. Like, I don't
That's why that doesn't
understand.
make sense to me.
That's exactly what I got from them when I asked why
I'm gonna
my
ask them
numbers
again.
went down. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask at
it
the
was
post
weird.
office what the difference is, not whatnot.
Yeah,
I'm
and I did
curious.
ask at the post office too. Because I was like questioning that too, and I said, "So what's the difference between scanning at the kiosk and scanning here?" And they said, "Well, that one doesn't actually scan it in because you can turn around and walk away with the box."
It's true.
Um, so they said it's not the same scan as going through the line into the post office's hands. That's the difference. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So that means that a postal employee's hands, so since they're picking it up, they're scanning it, it's different than being able to walk away from the kiosk.
Yeah, so
So
Todd,
it's
that's what
just
we're
a
talking
kiosk
about.
issue.
That's what we're talking about, Todd, is the manifest because whatnot, meaning the post office generates that paper as well for them. That's true. You can also generate a manifest on the whatnot side, which will tell you how many ground and how many priority mailers there are. It will not count your PWEs, but you
Oh.
can still um, most postal workers when they do pickup will say, "Oh, I'll scan 5," because that's their standard. However, you have the right to say, "No, please scan every single package." So that's
Yep.
what I was saying.
But they
That's
can make you
interesting.
step out of line and wait till they're not busy. They can
Absolutely.
ask you to do that. It is just one of those things, you know.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
have been behind somebody who scans 70 packages, and it's
And
like,
it
it's
sucks.
annoying, but I let them do their thing because I'm like, one day I'm going to be successful enough to scan in 70 packages, and I want them to do it.
Yeah. That's interesting though. It's really interesting to know.
Each post office is, you know, they're supposed to be kind of uniform because they're one government, one agency, one governing body. However, people still are people, and there's going to be differences in policies per. But yeah, knowing your
Yeah.
rights and being able to say, no, I really need this scanned, or I tell them, yeah, I need it scanned, or it affects my business. Or I can actually be kicked off my platform if I don't have these scanned correctly and on time, in an overall time span. So they will do it that way. And again, being kind goes a long way. I've actually walked in and handed a little pocket hug to my USPS people. I mean, I see them every other day, right? I'm putting shows together almost every day now, so I'm at the post office every other day. I've seen them every other day. I just give them a little gift every now and then, or stop, get a little Debbie box and walk across the desk and give them to everybody. Like that, you're going to be doing business with them, and you're going to see the same people over and over again. Leave something for your post office person. Snacks go a long way, and just being kind to
Yes.
people.
Yes. And yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I do want to show another thing. Hold on. Which ironically right now looks bad. It's gonna look exactly
Hey,
like
Resin
what it
Mascara Mary.
shouldn't.
Ow! Oh, Euphoria, I can now let you. Ow! You got your first Wolfie.
It's gonna look exactly like what it shouldn't, but I'm gonna show you anyway because I'm gonna be that person. I got mail yesterday and there were too many packages, and the postal worker gave it to me in this box. Okay. There's my packages that are going out today. And I just was trying to clean up quickly, so I put a bunch of shit in here. But sorry. I'm horrible with my language. My explicit content warning is always on.
Mine
But
is always on as well.
I do want to mention that is going to go back to the post office with me today when I go to the post office. You cannot keep those boxes and use them for things that are not USPS. Okay. It just popped into my head when I saw it, and I wanted to mention that every so often, if I'm getting like a bunch of shipments in, it that's what happens. Those are not yours. Those are property of USPS. Those are not mine, I should say.
They will, however, let you use them if you ask them, "Hey, can I get a box?"
Yeah.
They
Oh,
will
no,
let
and
you
I
use
have
them.
one in my garage
Yeah.
with my actual priority mail supplies, and they're fine with that. But my point is, don't use them, for rocks like me. Like I was literally just trying to clear up my table, and I was like, let me just move a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Um,
I just threw everything on Brian's bed. I have to
and
go
I'm like,
clean it
that's
up
right
after the
here,
show.
so I can use it. And then I do need to clear that off, and it'll just go to the post office with me because I have the one that I use all the time. So I did want to mention that though, because it's again when we were talking about being honest and just the legalities of things and making sure that we're doing things the right way. So
One last thing I wanted to mention also on when we're talking about that pickup free shipping or pickup for local pickup.
USPS,
That's the
yeah.
the
Oh,
toggle.
yeah,
If you do have that toggled on, it is going to show your address. You I think the only way, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, the only way you can change that address is if you have a post office box. Um,
you're
can
wrong.
you change that per?
So I created an address, and it's my local Smith's, which is like my Kroger, which is around the corner. And that's in my shipping addresses. Okay, it's just one of the addresses in my profile, and it's just called Art with Heart. And I happen to know that the one on Charleston is, that's my pickup. And then when you do local pickup, you have to put in a message anyway to give instructions. And I just say DM me to arrange time for local pickup. So that's all it shows. It shows that address. It does not show my home
So
address.
in my actual profile, I can add a second shipping address.
Yes, you can have as many addresses as you'd like.
Okay.
So that's what I do, so that I have a public place. Um, I happen to only do, the only people who ever want to do local pickup are my friends, but I have two friends that it's just why should they pay shipping? But just in case, for my own sanity, that's what I do.
Okay. I will figure out how to do that and make that happen because I do want to take my address off of that because when it's on there, anybody can go in and actually see it. And I do not have a stalker, but my best friend does. And he comes into my shows, and I don't necessarily want him to have my address, which he has it now because he bought from me before I realized it was him. But luckily, before I realized it was him, I went in and blacked out my address when I sent it back to him. But he can go in and see it at any time if
Yeah,
free pickup is on there. So,
correct.
and getting a post office box is very expensive, to the
Yes.
tune of almost $400 a year for the smallest one. So,
Yeah. So for that reason, that's what I do. I literally just have an additional profile, additional address in my profile. And when you set up pickup, it tells you to choose which address you want.
okay,
You get that same like that drop down option. You get a drop down menu and it says, okay, which one do you want? And you choose, and that's the one I choose. It's the one on
do you have to
Charleston.
change it every show, like to
You don't change it. No,
or
you literally, it's just for local pickup. Otherwise, my
local
default is my
pickup will give you
default.
a drop down box? Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I will figure out how to do that. Thank you for letting me know that. And thank you,
Let me see. Oh, you
Mary,
know
for
what? Here,
that.
let me show it to you. Hold on. I just closed my laptop, but give me one sec. Let's go to shows because I just realized I could show it to you. It's easier. Um, let me go to.
Yeah,
Hold on.
that's OBS. I don't know where I got into that.
Give me one sec, guys. Okay, here we go. So, okay. If I go to my profile, okay, In my seller hub, I go here, I click on my name, my little icon here. Okay, I can go to account settings. When I go to account settings on the left-hand side, I can choose addresses here. See that?
Ah, yes.
Now I can add right here. I have an address. That's this one, the one called Art with Heart. Okay, so that's here. Now let's go to schedule show. Okay. Now when I toggle on free pickup right here,
Mm-hmm.
um, it will automatically, it'll default to my home address, and I will just use my drop down and switch to the Charleston address. And here I will write, please DM for to arrange pickup time. Okay.
Okay,
And
perfect.
this is the address that will be visible.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I have a local Walmart that's like a block away, and
there
I
you
just
go.
meet there for anybody else who I don't trust to get my address. So
Exactly.
again, it's
There you
still
go.
safer though. If you have an issue, it is definitely safer that you
Just
have a
require
PO
shipping.
box, but
Yeah.
it's expensive.
And require shipping if you're not comfortable with local pickup. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. If somebody values your work, they will pay. They don't
Yeah,
value
I
it, they're
have a
not
ton
going to
of
pay
people who
anyway.
use Yeah, I do have a ton of people who use local pickup. So I did want to put that in there. I will definitely make that change.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're
See,
welcome. My
guys, you
pleasure.
always learn. You can always learn. That's why we do these chats. And also, we do stuff like this as part of the Resonator group for those of you who are resin artists. And never hesitate to ask somebody who knows more than you because mistakes
It's
are
true.
costly when it comes to shipping. So, and also I would say be careful who you get your information from, because there are sellers out there that are doing seller talk shows that really don't have the right answers. They're doing what kind of works best for them. Maybe they haven't gotten caught doing some of the things that they're doing, like using the bubble mailers or whatever. um, I would say if you're in a seller show and they're talking about shipping and they say you don't have to change your dimensions, I would leave that show, and find out somebody who's a little bit more knowledgeable in shipping. A couple of people that I really trust. First of all, Art with Heart.
Thank
Second,
you.
big seller D Archivist. D underscore Archivist is an excellent resource for shipping, and she has a shipping show on her YouTube site. Same name, same spelling.
Oh, that's
D
awesome. I didn't know
Archivist.
that.
Yeah, and she's all of her shows are on YouTube, so you can go back in and just type
Yeah,
in shipping, and there's a great one in there. Um, Also, visuals actually works for the post office. So she's a resource from the other side of things. So visual.com,
that's
she
great.
has stuff I think on her site as well. And then the other one is big shipping. Man, I can't think of her name right now. I can see her so clearly.
I don't
She
know, but
does
to
talk shows in
piggyback
the
on that,
morning. She does
type
talk
which
shows
one?
around
The archivist,
her.
Mary?
Yeah,
Who?
yeah. The archivist, I think she's asking. Probably both of them. We can do both of them.
Um, I do want to piggyback on that in general. Yeah, you were right, both. Um, Pay attention. There are sellers, there are premier sellers that I used to follow or that I still follow, but like that I used to listen to. And then I noticed that they lost their premier status. And I'm not saying that that's a reason for it because it's not. There are so many reasons to lose premier status. Um, but if you are already questioning any of their practices, okay, pay attention to those small things because if they've been around for that long and they've been premier for that long and they lost status, it's not only because they fell behind in shipping, it's also because they committed too many violations. It's a random thing. I know it sounds silly, but just pay attention. And I mean, my really good friends, I mean, they lost it and it was only because of the new shipping setting thing with the scanning. Um, that's the reason that they lost their premier status this month. But if it's month after, like you start realizing like people have questionable practices or habits. And if they're not doing their show, they're like, oh, sure, I'll teach you. They're not in your category. Chances are good that they know a lot. and they know a lot for their category. And most of it does cross over, but some of it does not. Some of that information really doesn't. Like when Ro was showing you guys how to package things, when when you're selling clothes, polymailers are your best friend and you can stuff them in, right? We can't do that with a piece of art. Um, and because of that, we do have to think about the weight of our shipping materials in a way that they don't, that the clothing resellers simply don't, right?
And we talked
Um,
about how heat and the weather can affect your shipping also. How, I use a lot
yeah,
more resin crete in the summer than I use resin because it just has to be cured to a certain level before you're shipping those. And let's be honest, most of us are making stuff and shipping it within the first week. So
yep,
you do have that risk that it's going to be bendable in the mail if you're shipping that before it's a month dried. So make sure that you're extra padding those things so that the heat isn't actually affecting, because it doesn't matter where you drop them off or you think, oh, they're just going to be in the post office and then it may sit on their doorstep for a week. I mean, you don't know what happens once
yep,
it's out of your hands. It is,
it's
you
out of your
just need to
hands.
assume that it is going to be an 100-degree heat.
It is
Think about that when
genuinely
you're,
out of your hands.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you can actually put on the outside of the box, heat sensitive, please open immediately, or heat sensitive, take indoors. Um, that's perfectly fine to do that. I was also told by the post office that if you really have something that's fragile, don't abuse this, but if you really have something that you're concerned about or you're a little bit worried about, yes, the fragile sticker works, okay? But if you put the word glass on it, they actually do try their best to be more attentive to anything that is glass. So,
yeah,
like me right now, I'm shipping my baddies under a glass label so that they know it is actually something that's fragile. So you
genuinely.
can do that.
A
Yeah.
different level of fragile, shall we say.
Oh, mine are really fragile.
That's what I'm
It's
saying,
the
exactly.
wings.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. I'm like a different level of fragile,
Yeah. Yeah.
meaning
Yeah.
everything's fragile, but it's
Right. But this one isn't the bad.
how
This isn't the bad one. Um, that one's not bad to ship. That one's going to be pretty easy. But this one's going to be crazy to ship.
yeah,
So, these
prayers.
are attached. This is attached. So, these areas have to be like super reinforced to make sure that everything stays attached. And then also the heat. You have to worry about, like, how did you put this on? If it's UV resin and it heats up, the chances of it flexing and moving between the two different types of resin is pretty high. So I've actually gone to actually wiring mine on. I know they're kind of hidden, but they're actually wired to make sure that they don't pop off. But this one
That's
is not
smart.
wireable. So this one I will ship under the glass because it's technically,
I just lost sound. Oh, there
am I
you're back.
back?
Okay, now you are.
Okay. Sorry. I got a phone call. So
Oh, I was like,
I never put on do not disturb because I want to make sure my family's safe. But yeah, and it's always my family that calls.
oh, okay.
All
Well,
right,
so
so
my
that's
family knows that if they call twice in a, that if they need to reach me, they have to call twice in a row.
same here. Same here.
Because then it overrules it. Well, but you
That's
know
our
that then it
rule.
overrules do not disturb, right?
No, I did not know that, but
Yeah. So if
that
they
is
call
actually
twice
our
in a row,
family rule. Call right back if it's an emergency, and I will drop everything.
so if it's do not disturb, the first time will go straight to voicemail. The second time it will go through.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. Good to know. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
because
just
of that, I just leave it on do not disturb. So then they know they
yeah.
have to call me twice.
So lots of good information today. As you saw, or with Heart just said, it will be in the Discord and it will be on my YouTube. And for those of you who don't have access to either one of those, you're welcome to buy the sticker below, and that will give you. I'll send you 5 to 10 stickers. I'm pretty generous with them because I want them out of my house too. Um, but
Wait till you start
so
running out of them. Let me tell you.
I don't know that I'm ever going to run out of them. I bought a million when I first came on.
Oh, that's
So
valid.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
did that
so
once, but now
you
I'm
can
down
get
to
that and it'll be there for 60 days you'll have, or 30 days. Or is it 60 days? I don't know.
it's
It'll be
60.
there for a while. Okay.
Technically 60, but it tends to disappear, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to try and do chats with the brat at least once a month, and we'll cover a different option of things. So you guys, if you're in our Discord, or, just reach out to either one of us and say, I'd like to have this topic. And, if you find a topic that you'd like to do under this, it's not just doesn't have to be resin. That's why I kind of branched out. Chats with the brat is more like also selling things, like, it'll be like, how do you actually present a piece in the light that is sellable. Talking about and loving your pieces, talking about price when somebody haggles you on price, like how to answer, how those situations are that come up, like handling those sort of things. So it's not just going to be resin. When it's chat with the brat, it's a broader topic usually than just resin. So if you guys would like to follow along for that, you are more than happy to. And I always learn when I do these. I always tell people I'm not the utmost as expert. And I will tell you, I'm not sure on a lot of stuff, but I am here to have open discussions and find that information out and then get back with you on it. And then there are always times where there's somebody more knowledgeable that comes up in the chat and offers information. You can stop and look that up yourself too. So, my point is always vet where you get your information from. At the end of the day, the absolute best place to get the information on whatnot is in the terms of service. They are lengthy, they are sometimes a hard read, but you should know what your specific instructions are for selling it in your category. You should know. I didn't read the terms of service because they were lengthy, but I have been starting to go through them slowly, and I was selling knives and the support program for the wolf program. You cannot sell knives unless you are in 3 specific categories. So I had to stop doing that. So you do need to know, like for resin art, one thing that is in there is we all have those little self-defense things, right?
mhm.
You cannot call them brass knuckles or defensive devices because that's against terms of service. So call them a keychain or something else. Like, you should know those things for your own category. And we will also be doing that in discussions on Chat with the Brad, is just taking a category and reading it and dissecting it and going through those terms of service. So but yeah, I would say that the end all, if you have any question, is go straight to the source, and that is terms of service that you have agreed to adhere to while being a seller here on the platform. Because there are people out there who will just I don't know, I would just leave off the word protection altogether and just say it's a keychain. Once it's in their hands and out of yours, you know.
Call it a sharp
Um
keychain, but not in
yeah,
the title. You know what I mean?
yeah. Just say, this is a keychain. What you do with it once you own it is up to you. I have no control over what you do with my products once they leave my house. But just be careful in what you call them. And I have seen a lot of sellers calling them, brass knuckles, or they're not even brass. So that's a mislabel to begin with. But
True.
yeah, self-protection keychains, just be really careful with that, because it is on the bubble. Plus, there are a lot of states that actually do not allow you to sell those either. Tennessee is one of those states. Those are actually illegal to sell in my state. So I can't even
Really?
vend with those. Yeah, you got to know your
I
state
call them
laws too.
non-brass knuckles, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Resin knuckles.
Yeah,
Oh,
resin knuckles, and I was like,
interesting.
I think I was the one that may have told you, I would take out that word completely just so that it doesn't
Interesting.
get you flagged. Because that's a pretty big violation. You're technically selling a weapon. What you're calling is a weapon. So somebody could say, I feel unsafe with this seller, and you could be kicked off the platform. And there's very few things they will let you back on the platform. It's very,
Once
very
you're
hard to get
off.
back on once you're kicked off. Very, very
Yeah.
hard. So just peek through and make sure that you're adhering to the terms and conditions in the stuff you're specifically selling. And if you have any question, look it up. There's a ton of prohibited items on there. They're very specific about that. And you can go in and find out what those are for yourself. But I think that will be the next chat with the brat, will be prohibited items. And we'll cover that next. So I don't have anything
Cool.
else. Do you have anything else, my dear?
I don't think so, but I will say if you have any questions, I'm a huge fan of sharing information, learning, and giving. So if you just reach out, I'm happy to
Yeah,
answer.
same here. Same here,
I'm not gonna
guys.
say I'm always available because
Same
I'm
here.
not, but I'm always happy to help if I'm able when I'm able to. I'm
Yes.
always happy to help.
And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and doing this discussion with us today. There was not a lot of people here, but I guarantee you it'll be replayed and watched. And I appreciate you giving your time. I understand it's a very valuable asset and a very big thing to give. So I appreciate it.
I don't count numbers, but thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. It was awesome.
All
I
right.
don't it's not worth it, you know? You can have 5 people who buy everything and you can have 20 people who buy nothing. So I just don't look
Absolutely.
at it that way, you know? So,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right. Well, you
Yay.
go and have a great day. We're going to find somebody in the resin world or not.
I
If
think it's
there's
just the
nobody
2
in
of
the resin
us.
world, we'll find somebody. Oh, it's just the two of us. Okay. Well, we're going to rate out anyway because it helps our algorithm, right?
It does. Let's do it. Yep.
Okay, create a raid. Um, we'll go into height normal designs. She's probably, oh, she's doing a community chat talk today too.
Oh,
She's actually excellent at community talking. Very much
nice.
a stickler of the rules. So, all right, guys, see you later. Oh, I mean, all right, guy, gal, we'll see you later.
Gal. Whatevs.
All right,
See
see
you.
you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.